Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. It's the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passion and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
This episode of Snowmobile Sessions Live is brought to you by LJE PowerSports. They're Oakville's full-line BRP dealer with sales and service to all BRP models and so much more. LJE PowerSports always has the fun in store with a wide selection of clothing, parts, and accessories for all your powersports passions. Make LJE PowerSports your source for Can-Am off-road, ATV, and side-by-sides. Can-Am on-road Riker and Spider, including the sporty F3S, Sea-Doo watercraft, and Switch pontoon boats, and Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Mercury Marine. Put yourself on a Manitou pontoon or a Widescape stand-up snowmobile. LJE Powersports is the home for Lynx and Ski-Doo snowmobiles for the entire family. Do you feel the energy? LJE Powersports, 879 Cranberry Court, Oakville, Ontario, or online, LJEPowersports.ca. All right, we're here with Lenn Johnson, and we got Drew. He's coming to us from Windsor, Ontario. From back to school it is for another 8 months. How you doing tonight, boys?
Doing great.
That's good. And so tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from? And you're a Polaris Ambassador. I'll let you take the stage.
Yeah, I'm a busy guy. Let's go back to where I grew up. I grew up in snowmobiling. My parents purchased a sporting lodge that was a 3-season sporting lodge back in the early 70s to turn it into a snowmobile destination in the winter. So my father moved us up there, and I'm the oldest of 5 brothers. So he had quite the workforce already at hand for taking on such a big a dream of his that he had. He got the snowmobiling bug back in the mid or late 60s, and now that's what I really look forward to winters because of that. But grew up there, got out of the graduated high school, went in the Army, became a tank mechanic in the Army. Learned that I was really good at electricity, and became an electrician after that. Went to college, got my degree, worked for my father for a little bit. And the whole time doing this, I kept my foot in snowmobiling. And when I had enough money to start buying my own sleds, I was one of those guys that always experimented with things on snowmobiles. And I'll give you an example. I had a 1980 Polaris TXL 340 Indy. And this is back when everybody else had leaf spring sleds. And in order to improve the turning on it, I was experimenting with the steel skis, and I actually put 2 carbides on each ski and made the first set of dualies. I'm thinking back in around 1983 or 84, and never knew that I was onto something. I just did it for myself, and it actually helped with the darting. I don't think it turned any better, but I was just experimenting, and I've always been a guy that's done that throughout my career. So I'm in the New Hampshire area now. I live in Webster, New Hampshire, which is right outside of Concord, New Hampshire, but I still have a cabin up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire, which is where we snow. That's where snowmobiling is. That's like one of the big destinations for people in New England that want to ride. It's a very big town. It's over 300. It's almost 300 square miles. They have 4 groomers that just take care of their trails up there. So it's a big snowmobile community, and I'm lucky to be living and enjoying that.
That's pretty wild. And that's the thing. I met you at the Toronto show a few years ago.
Yeah.
I was blown away because you and I were chatting, and I was like, where do you get these gadgets made? You had only a few products at that time. And
I did.
Now if you go to LJEProducts.com, on the internet, you'll see he's got tons of products, more coming out. Yeah, I just make them. I'm at home in my garage or my shop, tinkering away, making up these light kits. And
Well, that's how it started.
Yeah, it's
It
crazy.
did. I made them on my kitchen table when I first started.
Yeah.
And I realized very quickly that I needed a manufacturer. So I went on the internet and I started looking, and I went through a couple different manufacturers before I found the one that I have now. And they're based in Colorado. And I have an engineer that's assigned to me, and we work together quite a bit. And the thing, Gary, is when you figure out how to do something once, the next one comes a little easier. The next one after that comes a little easier. And I have all these ideas floating around in my head, and I'm a snowmobiler like you guys. I actually ride. You know, if I get a good season, I'll put on up to 4,000 miles in a season. And I pretty much get a new sled every year because I put so many miles on them.
That's cool. That's the thing. A lot of people that are heavily into the development of products like you are, don't get a lot of time to ride. So it's nice to see that you get to enjoy the best of both worlds, right?
Somebody's got to test this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and another thing I wanted to point out is family business as well. And Brooke, her daughter, is heavily involved and
she is
carving her own path in the snowmobile world.
Yeah, she's 25 now, and she joined me about the time she was 21, maybe 20, as a business partner. And I had a couple of reasons for doing that. A, she's got a background in graphic arts and film, and she knows how to run cameras and do all that high-tech stuff that I'm not so much into. And B, I thought it would be a good way to show her how to run a business at a young age.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you still do it on the side, or has this become a full-time business for you?
Brooke is almost full-time, but that was our goal when we started this, was to get her full-time. And if we can get snow and the revenue can move up a notch, she can go full-time, and I'll just be part-time until it gets big enough for me to run it full-time. It's almost there, but I'm an electrical contractor by trade.
Yeah.
So I have that business, and my wife owns 2 restaurants, not 1, but 2, because she's crazy.
Yeah.
And I help a little bit with that when I need to. And, you know, I'm always busy. I don't sit around much. And I pretty much work my whole year towards that snowmobile season where we are now to start getting out riding and testing new products.
Yeah, right on. That's very cool. Hey, Drew, do you want to give, we'll give Lenn a break. Do you want to do a roll call and
roll call?
Let's see who's in the chat, and away we go.
Yeah. Okay, let's start at the top. Got, of course, Wisco Sledheads, as always. You got Jacob Massart in here in the chat. We got LaPointe says, hello, hey all, happy new year. Hope everyone had a safe and happy holiday. Miss seeing the show. Good to be back tonight. Massart was just talking about the 100th sled he just bought and how his wife's upset with him or something. Typical stuff with him. Just Fly Low's in here, says, hello everyone, I'm fishing because there's no snow. Who else? Oh, what's going on? Sorry, my pop-out chat's not working. Ron Kestalut says, good evening. Motorsport Channel says, what's up, guys? We got Chris Watson in here as always. Uncle Buck's in here. Pat Yagic.
Yagic.
That one,
I think.
Yagic.
Yeah, we never get his name right.
Yeah. Rob Overholt, a lot of happy New Year's. No, a lot of how's it going. We got Corey Brock in the chat tonight again. Throwing Sparks is in here. All Terrain TV said he got his Elan out, but now all of his snow is gone.
Nice.
Jamie Nichols is in here, says good evening. Matt Banville, just watching the Uclear install on the Mission helmet from a couple of years ago, and he said, how did you like it? We never actually rode with that setup. We never got any snow. That was done in, like, we did that in March, and we never got a chance to try that setup.
The Uclear is an awesome calm. Like, and it would work equally as well on Mission as it does in the Oxygen. I kicked myself. I ended up giving the helmet away. We had a draw for it, but I should have kept it a little longer and got a test run on it. Because
we just didn't want the winner to have a helmet that smelled like cigarettes and broken dreams.
I don't smoke though, so it wouldn't have. wouldn't have smelled like anything. Maybe my bad breath. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But still, broken dreams. It would smell like, but not cigarettes or alcohol. That's for sure. But yeah, the no, it's that was the Mission is a great helmet, right, Len?
Oh, that's the best helmet. I've tried them all, you guys. I've tried them all.
Yeah.
We also got
and that is the #1 helmet in snowmobiling.
And that's what everybody that has them says it. And I just couldn't I couldn't leave my oxygen. And I hate cords, and everyone that has the Mission says they don't have to plug the helmet in and that kind of thing. And, so I did get it free in order to make a wrap template and to use it for my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Was the main reason I got it donated to me from Flat Earth Santa. And I did what I said I was going to do. I hit 5,000 subs and we
did the giveaway at Lodge Sessions. We did a draw live from my oxygen. We used my oxygen helmet as the bucket. That was something else. We actually had like an on-screen wheel because you pulled everyone's name from
I did too. Yeah. So
because that's all you had to do. You had to send an email or something.
And that's the thing with LJE back in the day, 3 years ago or whatever it was that you and I chatted in Toronto. You didn't really have anything for Skidoo guys. It seemed to be focused on Polaris.
No, that was a tough helmet to do.
Yeah. And it's and I've got it here. So, and I've got a cord. Hold on, I got to find my cord. One moment.
Well, he's gone. I'll just keep going through the chat while he locates his stuff. So we got also 850 XCR 136 in here. He's a normal guy in the chat. Odie, the sled and truck guy. Hope that everything's going well for you up there, Odie, getting our trails ready for us. What else we got? Bam Custom says, cheers, boy. We got Greg Kelly in the house. Iron Moose just popped in here. I think I got all the names covered there. Oh,
I think I want to be
here
like this. There we go. So I just put a video out this afternoon of this helmet light, and I'm not sure you can see here, but Len's even come up with a little magnet adapter for the helmet, and then you just plug it in. Oh, it's so bright it actually blasted out the camera, but there it is on red.
There we go.
Yeah, because it's a green screen effect, that anything that's got green in color is gonna affect the. And these are
there goes.
These are RGB lights, so green's in just about all of them. There's white, purple. You can't really see them, but you can see them in my video really nice. But
there's 12 colors, Gary.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah, a professional would turn off his green screen for this part.
Yeah, I'm not that professional.
Nice helmet.
Yeah, thank you. These are the wraps that I do. It takes that egg, makes it not look like an egg on the head. You know what I mean? But no, I'm really impressed. And you can't really see, but the actual LED strip has a coating on it, so it looks like it's a finished light kit. Like it doesn't look like you stuck Amazon LED strips on your helmet. It's a real nice, really well done package. I like it.
Have you had a chance to ride with it yet?
No, I haven't, and I'm probably Wednesday I'll be out with it. But
awesome.
I love the fact and we're going to see it in your pictures, and I mentioned it in the video, and I love the fact that it's so bright during the day, and you can see it in the clip that I took from my Halliburton Part 2 video, where we come up a trail, and then you could see this green light on a helmet miles down the trail, and we come up, and I said, that's one of those Lenn lights, I said to Drew. And you can
I get that a lot.
When Drew passes the oxygen compared to the LJE is just intense, you know.
I did that on purpose because to get through snow dust, you got to have a really bright light, and I wanted it to work day or night. You know, I didn't want it just to be a night thing. The oxygen light, you can see it at night fine, but you can't see it at all during the daytime, and that's why I developed a kit for that helmet, because I had over the years at the shows, I had so many people asking, Do you make one for the oxygen? And I'm, nope. But I finally get around to doing it.
You must have been going like, why would they need that? Why are they asking? I mean, the neat thing I think is if you have a family or if you have a group of 4 buddies that ride, buy the lights. You can each pick your own color, and then when you're in the line of people, you know, hey, there's Gary, there's Drew, there's Len, there's Brooke. You know what I mean? Riding in the line, and if one gets out of place or one, you know, ends up not in your pack, you know, if you're riding with a bunch of oxygens or Advex or whatever it is, you'll know exactly the people in your group with the LJE light just because they're color. If you have 12 different colors, you've got 12 different
and I can program more into it. Like I really want to do I don't have an orange in there. And playing around with my manufacturer, I found out we can do orange. So once the current inventory is depleted, I will program that in the next batch. Yeah, along with a couple other colors.
This guy here would like orange.
Ready? Okay.
But I
think it's cool in the
sense.
Well,
I'm good with yellow though as well. I think I'm gonna put one on mine and run a little bit of yellow. I mean, I got an all red sled. Throw some yellow. That's just McDonald's right there, buddy.
Yeah.
No, it's neat.
So did I ever tell you how I came up with the light to begin with?
No, go ahead.
So my brothers and I and our friends, this is a group that varies between 10 and 15 guys. We do an annual snowmobile trip to Maine. And every year we've been doing it. And this is going on 30 years now. We've been doing this trip. There's always been a little fender bender or something due to snow dust and, you know, the guy in front of you hitting the brakes because a deer's in the trail or whatever. And we end up losing a day chasing parts, fixing snowmobiles, and no one's ever got hurt. But I've been thinking about it in the back of my mind for years, like, how can we make this safer for everybody? So being an electrician, I had access to LED strips from a manufacturer that makes under cabinet lighting that we use. It's ribbon LED. And I called him and I said, can you send me a roll of red? And I built 12 kits on my kitchen table, soldered an RCA onto the end of it, and then bought these cheap RCA splitters on Amazon, plugged the RCA splitter into the heated shield, and then plugged the new helmet light into the adapter and plugged in the power cord, and we went off riding. And my brothers and my friends were like, Len, you're onto something here. This is amazing. It wasn't until we started riding as a group with all these lights that we realized the benefit of it. So I had, like I told you, I had come up with things in the past for snowmobiling, motorcycling, cars, things I'd made on my own, had fabricated, and I never pursued it. So when I came up with this idea, I said, you know what, I think I was about 50 years old at the time. And I said, I need to do something. So I started I started trying to make them myself, but after 100 of those, it got old. So I found a manufacturer, and that's kind of how it started. And I've just upgraded the design over the years to improve it, to make it more reliable and even brighter and even more visible. But that's how it all started, on a trip to Maine.
Was other manufacturers like Oxygen, did they already have a light on their helmet? I guess it was
no, because I started this. I started 11 years ago with this concept. I didn't really start manufacturing them until later on. I just kind of put together somebody else's LED strip with somebody else's splitter and stuff. Nothing was mine. It was just stuff we threw together and tried to market it as a kit. And it didn't really go that good for a while until I really got serious about it. And that's when I designed, I think this was in 2020 or 2021. I came out with the dual LED strip with that plastic Y splitter that you see.
Yeah.
On the kit now, the mold, that's a molded part. That was our design, and that's when I patented it. I put a patent on it, which I think I sent you a copy of that.
I think I
And
got it.
yeah, and that's when the push really started to go. And my friend Glenn Welsh, who owns Byhotter, he's the guy that makes the carbide sharpeners, the
Yeah,
tool.
we use those. They're good.
He became my distribution guy because I didn't have Brooke at the time and I couldn't keep up with the orders once this thing started to take off. And then we did that for about, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. And then with my daughter Brooke on board, I didn't need him anymore as a distributor. So I ended up, taking it back and marketing it on my own. And so there's a little confusion because people see Byhotter and they confuse that thinking it's the Byhotter light, but it's always been my light. And Glenn was just helping me out. And, he has a really good tool for sharpening carbide studs and runners, which I use myself personally, and it works great. It's not for everybody, but it's for the guys that like doing stuff themselves and, keeping that carbide sharp so you can turn. And he already had a company that was very established, so it made sense to join forces with him back when we did this. And, I do owe him some gratitude for helping me out with that. And that's kind of how Byhotter and LJE Products kind of combined forces for a while. He still sells on his website at byhotter.com. He sells my strips, the single colors, so you can still buy green or amber or pink or red or blue. I think 6 different colors, single color strips, but we sell the color selectable model now, which is just like the Blizzard Buster you have on your oxygen helmet. It's a strip with a little button you push, and it does the same 12 colors. Basically the same strip that's on the oxygen.
Yeah, that's very cool. Love it. Well, he was on our show. He's a big supporter of us as well, and he did mention that it was your light, even though he was distributing it. So he was forthcoming with all that. But I think it's amazing. I love the growth of your business, and it's very cool. Like your whiteout lights is another genius idea, and I think that I've got one to install. I just haven't put it on yet, but that will be coming in the next little bit. I had to thaw out a snowmobile, which you're going to see pictures of why. And so that'll be what it's going on as soon as all the ice is off the underbelly of it. If I can get it to work with the B Power bumper, but
yeah. So we just put an aftermarket bumper on my sled, and then your box came in the next day, and it's like, well, now how are we gonna get? It's a B Power heavy duty. It's called the B Power Extreme Duty. So it has a giant flat plate that pretty much covers that. So installing it is going to be a bit of a challenge because I don't really want to.
I think it'll fit above. I think the light will still be.
We have to we have to drill through. I think the solution is take the pipe off. I don't want to take the whole bumper off. But I think if you just take the pipe off and drill from the.
Oh yeah,
you guys, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be awesome behind the bumper a bit because it'll actually make that bumper really light up. I think it'll be.
The silhouette will pop.
Yeah, it'll be great. But that it's neat because it plugs into the buds connector, so you've got power when the sled is off, which is genius.
And so the reason I came up with that, like, guys, is another scenario where we used to have a cabin off grid, and I used to have to drive in with my sled 7 miles from the nearest road. And when you get done work on a Friday, and then you load up and head up, by the time you get up in the woods and get to your cabin, it's 11 o'clock midnight. And of course it's snowing and blowing. And I had to shovel my way into the front door to get the door to open because it's swaying out. And I used to have to hold a flashlight in my mouth. And it was just, I needed a light. So I'm like, if I just mount one of these LED things on my sled. So I did. I went out and I found a couple COB LEDs, automotive things, and I stuck them on my belly pan and on my Polaris. And I went up there and I didn't need a flashlight anymore. It was awesome. I just leave it on and that's how that whole thing started. Again, it was kind of an accident.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there any, and this is probably like the devil's advocate type question, but I think the Polaris one's 3M tape on, right? Or do they
Yeah.
drill? So
No,
the
that's a
Skidoo one has
3M.
ribbon.
Yeah, that's a very, that's the helmet light on steroids. That's what that light is. It's a very high output. I believe it's about 1,500 lumens between both strips. And that peels and sticks on the Axis or the Matrix chassis snowmobiles from Polaris. Where the one that I sent you guys is for Gen 4 two-stroke only Skidoo models.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I showed you my Gen 5 prototype, but it's out there on the snow. It's actually up in Canada right now. A friend of mine's testing it. Yep.
What's the actual difference? Because me and him were having a discussion about this. Me and Dad were having a discussion about, like, you know, they barely made any change under the bumper. So, like, did you guys just have to? Is the shape actually different of that grill? Because, like, from the naked eye, it looks the same.
What Skidoo did is the wide body chassis, which was the Gen 4 4-strokes. So that's your Tundras, your 900 Ace, any of the wide body models, like where they had a slightly different grill, and the shape of it's a little different, and the width of it's a little different. But for Gen 5, they kept that same grill piece as the Gen 4 wide body across the board. So now when I finally get a Gen 5 light available, it's going to fit Gen 4 4-stroke.
Right on.
I did not know that. That's cool.
And cool. I don't think I sent you that picture, but I do have a picture of that I can tease you with.
Yeah, for sure. I seen it on Instagram. It looks great.
There you go.
The opening, it's lit up around it. And then you've also got them below as well. Is that two different kits, or are you just kind of experimenting on what?
No, that whole nose cone, you take your stock nose piece off your sled and you snap mine in.
Oh,
and
cool.
This has a halo, an amber halo that goes all the way around on one switch, and then on a second switch, there's the driving lights, or the whiteout lights, I call them. But when you're paying $20,000 for a mold, you have one shot at doing it right. And I said, all right, I learned from my first model, and I'm going to do a whole grill. So why don't I put a halo in it? Because that's kind of the trend now. You know, cars have the halos, and I said I might as well make it look cool, and that's how that happened.
Well, you did it. It looks really cool. It really does. So, will it fit a Gen 5 4-stroke?
Yes, the new one will, not the existing kit. So the Gen 4 2-stroke only, no. But the new one that I'll have probably next season will fit his sled that he just talked about.
Perfect. Jay, he also said he mounted one of your kits on his brother-in-law's Polaris, and it works great.
Thanks.
There was another thing. Yep. Oh, yeah, for sure. There's another thing here. Throwing Sparks says, Len, can you program sequential blinking into the light?
Of course. But now you're driving the price up.
Yeah.
Because I would have to have it. It can be done. We've talked about it. My manufacturer and I have talked about it. But when they tell me what it's going to cost to do it, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if people are going to be willing to pay, $125 to $150 for a sequential light. Maybe as my volume increases and we sell more of these, I can start doing stuff like that. But I've had that question quite a bit.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I think too, like you see things like the Rivian car, and it's got the kit mode where the you can make the grill light back and forth, and that might be kind of cool. Bam Custom says, do you think that you can sync your helmet light with the brake light, or is that overkill?
That's a great question, Bam. And we did experiment with a brake light in the light. And I'll tell you why we don't do it. And it makes sense on the street, like with a motorcycle or something like that. But in snowmobiling, you're dealing with snow dust almost all the time. It's very rare that you don't have snow dust conditions. And we found that in order to make the light even to make it so it had a brake light, you had to have like one strip on, and then the second strip would kick in to illuminate to make it brighter. But then you lose visibility. And we found that it was more important to have the light as bright as possible all the time so you can follow it. And a lot of the people out there that have got these know what I'm talking about when I say this, but you actually have to experience this thing firsthand to get it. Some people think it's bling, you know, why do I need a colored light on my helmet, yada, yada. And it's not until you hit that snowstorm or that whiteout condition where that light is the only thing you can see, because your head's up here and your tail light's way down there, that we experimented with it. And my brothers are my kind of go-to team when testing, and my friends. And we just like, no, it's better just to have it right all the time. So good question. And that's my final answer.
There is that company that, and I think that makes sense for sure. It does. There's that company that makes a helmet stick on. I think it's a stick on light for.
Yeah, it's called Brake Free.
Brake, and yeah, and it's inertia based, but
yeah, and it's huge, and it has a battery that does not last in cold weather.
Yeah,
because it's lithium ion and it's heavy. You know, you just added 6 ounces to your helmet. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and you as a manufacturer, do you open yourself up to a liability that if the guy gets rear-ended and the guy that hit him says, well, his helmet light didn't go off, does that
that's
make
true,
you
you know?
look, you know, like it would put you in a bad spot. And I think it's what you're doing is doing the right purpose, and it's doing a job.
I am working on, if you look in the background there, see that helmet?
Cool.
That's Brooks.
On.
That's a Mission. And there's a battery. See the little battery pack there?
I don't see it. Where is it on the
Let me zoom in. Hang on.
Let me zoom in. You're on your phone. You can just walk right over. Oh, right on.
See that battery pack?
Yeah.
That's a new product that's you guys are seeing firsthand that I'm working on.
Cool.
And I have a bigger version of it right here, charging right now.
Nice.
And that manufacturer and I are working together on a kit that's going to make it so that for people that don't want to be tethered to their snowmobile, and they don't really need their electric shield, they just want the light, they're going to be able to run that light with that battery pack.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, and that's the thing. If you don't have a battery on your sled, like my old 600 didn't have a battery, and the oxygen light doesn't come on, even the heater doesn't come on until you hit like 4,000 RPM.
It's like 3,800. It's basically clutch engagement, and it turns on.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're on the trails, it flickers off and on because you're not on, like if you're in a twisty trail,
when you slow down
off more than it's on. So that's a great idea. I was always going to figure, I'm like you, Len, I tinker with everything. I've got 3D printers, and I'm always, Drew can attest to that. Like I'm always developing all those guitars and games hanging there. I printed all those and album hangers and
all my bad hobbies. Yep.
Oh, so you're a guitar guy?
Oh yeah, here there you can see in the background. There's my guitar and drums back there. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm a drummer.
Oh yeah, right, nice.
Yeah, and my brother Pete is our lead guitar player, and we still have the same original members in the band that we started in 1985.
That's awesome.
That's pretty kind cool.
Of music
and we played hair metal.
Oh right yeah, there you go. There you go.
You know, Ozzy, Judas. There you go. That's my kind of music right there.
I got more records for Christmas. I got a couple Rat albums and Warrant album as well. That's
awesome.
Up here yet, but that's cool, man.
I grew up in that era.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, and I still play drums. I have a little band room downstairs in my house, and my brother and I get together occasionally with the band. We play out once every few years. We'll play a gig because we're all so busy. It's hard to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Drew had a really nice drum kit, and then he sold it to
before he went back to college or university.
It was between years. It was like I came home for one of my breaks, and I think I played it once. It was like my first time. I didn't even play it the last time I was home, and it was just like, man, I got this sitting down here. It was a really nice kit. It was a Pearl Export 5-piece.
Oh yeah.
But I spent probably
Had
like
one of those.
$2,000 on cymbals and hardware. Like I had twin rides because that's like I play a lot I play hair metal and Metallica, but I'm also into like Avenged Sevenfold and more like metalcore bands. So I had like the twin ride cymbals, like chinas and splashes everywhere. And it was just like, what am I doing with this sitting down here? So I sold it all, and that's why I bought the electric kit, because that was a year after I sold it. I was kicking myself I'm talking a day after I sold it. I'm like,
what brand is your electric kit?
That is a Alesis. That's an Alesis Nitro Mesh.
I've got one.
I have it's in the box right now because I just got unpacked from being at home, but I got a Thomas Speed Cobra 310 for it.
Do you have the Alesis with the mesh heads?
Yeah, that's what that is. That's
what I have.
Yeah.
I have one of those I use for practicing because I can turn it down.
Yeah, I like that. I like being able to turn the bounciness. That's it's awesome.
But I have Pearl. My main kit is a Pearl kit, so I'm a Pearl guy also.
Very cool. Master says Drew's having a stepbrother moment. Did we just become best friends? Yep. And then Lepoinski says Lenn's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy metal guy, and a lot of people don't know it, but when you're a drummer, there's nothing like wailing, getting to go and taking your temper out on your drums. That was me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. No, Drew started that.
I still got a stack in the basement of probably this tall of broken drum heads that I just never got rid of.
Right.
I have a whole pile of sticks as well. I want to make one of those like epoxy resin tables and put all the sticks and heads inside the table or something.
I have a drumstick collection from around the world.
That's pretty cool.
One of my brothers is a military subcontractor, so he goes to all these crazy places. And whenever he's in town, he stops at a local music store and tries to buy me a drumstick with that particular country on it or something. So I got a little collection going of that.
Very cool.
That's
Robert World says, rock on.
Rock on.
Yeah. I'll send you a link to Drew's music channel after the show.
I'll send you one to ours too.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah.
Drew picked up because when he got the drums, I'm a former rock legend on the guitar.
Nice.
Well known, my big gig was the Hilton in Niagara Falls, playing an acoustic gig for Drew's hockey team.
Oh, nice.
Stage fright.
But
so do we call that?
He bought the drum kit. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a guitar. So I picked up a shitty electric guitar and an amp, and then he wouldn't let me jam with him. And then he actually picked up guitar, and so then he bought a bass, and he plays all three and sings. So he mixes them together as a one-man show on YouTube. So
it's shitty guitar to hold on. That was an Ibanez GRG 120 DX. That wasn't no Squire. That was at least
it wasn't the greatest one though. Like, so
oh yeah, it's nothing like that. I remember when I bought that, you come into my room and it's the same amp and everything, and he's like, why does it sound so much better?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And anyway,
Let's get back on track.
I know. But I will say this rock and roll outlet is brought to you by...
Tired of dealing with worn out carbides and scratchers that just won't scratch your itch? You deserve better. It's time to upgrade your ride with Qualipieces. Qualipieces is the leader in specialized snowmobile accessories, bringing you innovative products that solve the everyday problems we all face on the trails. From their durable, long-lasting carbides, Trailblazer ice scratchers, to their ingenious roller ski, Qualipieces has redefined quality and performance. Have a taste of their specialized carbides at qualipieces.com and take your snowmobile to the next level.
Amazing transition. That was 10 out of 10 right there.
I love that. I don't know when I'm going to throw them in there, but I'll make sure that Qualipieces gets their bid every week. So,
and that's a good carbide. Those guys make a great carbide.
Yeah, and they're fun. It's a fun company. It's like you, right? Drew and I spent the day at the Toronto Snowmobile Show with them and had a blast. And it's just so much fun. No attitudes. They just make a good carbide and scratchers and, you know, B-power bumpers and brake levers and throttles and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Don't need one of those brake levers.
No, I was gonna ask you, Len, about the whiteout lights. We got talking about it, and is there ever, like, you've been running for a few years now, any concern with snow buildup underneath the belly of the sled or anything like that? Do they shine through it? Do they melt it?
Yeah, the both whiteout kits, because they're like a supercharged LED, they do get hot. And they use like on the Skidoo kit, it uses that big plastic, I should say, molded piece as a heat sink to pull the heat away from the LED so it won't hurt it. But at the same time, it's pretty durable. I have had a customer recently that put a stick through it, and that broke it. So he's gonna need a replacement. But the Polaris ones, because they're so thin and they have a nice thick urethane coating on them, they can take a lot of abuse. Because I tested that product for, must have been 5 years before I released it, and I was concerned that rocks and ice chunks and things like that might disturb the LEDs or break them. But believe it or not, we've had very, very few failures with that product. It's very reliable, very reliable. And there isn't any buildup that gets on there. It just melts it away.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm excited to try it. I think it's going to be a cool thing. Your other signal lights, we're going to get into the fan photos, and you've sent lots of pictures of these things, but I just wanted to say too, for anyone that's not sticking around much longer, but the signal light kit, your button lights up. So it shows you if you're on green or on orange. And that, my friend, is genius. Like, you on a Skidoo, you can't tell what color you're on, and without putting your handy mirror or at night holding your hand in front of the thing. So oftentimes, and you hear it in the Halliburton video, I'm like, Drew's ahead of us. I go, Drew, you're on green, because he goes around the corner. I can see his handguard when he turns, and it's like, oh crap, and he has to flip the switch again. Your light is handlebar mount, and it actually shows you on the button what color you're on, which is awesome.
I worked on that light for 5 years. I tested all kinds of stuff. My manufacturer would send me switches. They would fail. They'd get full of ice and water. And they finally came up with that switch. And I needed something that when you had your glove on, you could just push, something easy to run. I didn't want to toggle. I tried to toggle, and every time I stood up, I changed it, the color of the light. So I experimented, and the switch was the hardest part to overcome. And was critical to me, to have a backlit switch, so you knew what color you were on and what color you were displaying. And if you notice too, my LED strip is way brighter than anybody else's product out there. We call it the trail courtesy light. And the reason I named it that is because it's really a courtesy. It's not a requirement. It's not a law. But it doesn't work if you don't have mirrors. Because I'll have groups with those lights in front of me, the Ride Light, the other company that makes it. And they're doing hand signals and everything, and I'm behind them with 12 guys trying to get around them, and they're waving everybody like, hey, we're the last sled. There's nobody else. And it's because they don't have mirrors. You got to have mirrors for that to work.
Yeah, and the thing is with yours, and it doesn't matter if it's yours or if it's Skidoo's, and they're both great. I'm all about safety. So
yes,
if you got a Skidoo and you order them from the factory and they're a nice clean fit and they look great on the sled and they give you all the options you want. I love the fact that you have it for, if you have an older Skidoo or if you have a new Skidoo you want to put them on, or a Polaris or an Arctic Cat or an off-brand, an old Yamaha, you can put it on a 1972 Arctic Cat Panther if you want. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's the thing, safety first, right? And I really that the more you get into it, like I think the Skidoo ones are the cat's meow, and I was so to see Nuns out with yours on his Polaris going, this is great. I thought last year was the very first ride. This is great. We got LJE Products courtesy lights. We got the Skidoo signal lights, and it's like I was dumbfounded by the end of the year, going like, why aren't these things taking off? You know, like we need to get more people to buy into these things, and I don't care whether it's a LJE or Skidoo. We need more people to put these on their sleds.
And there's that switch we're talking about.
It is. Can you light it up? Have you got power there to light that up?
I do. Yeah, give me a second.
Fine, that'd be great. Like I should have brought mine down because I got a battery right here I could have hooked it onto, but I didn't.
Lucky for me, I have batteries right here.
Oh, I thought you might.
All right, give me a second.
For sure.
All
you know
right.
what? I'm gonna open up the fan. Oh, there you go. You got it on there right now. So there's your amber, and then click the button.
Yep.
Here, I'm gonna put you up so you're big here. Hold on. Do it again. There we go. Now click it green again. I see how that works. You got one. Cool. You got one strip on the top and one on the bottom. Very cool.
You got it. Keep it simple.
Right on. Yeah.
And that mounts right on your handlebar. It's designed to go on your left handlebar, but on some sleds that's pretty busy and there's no real estate over there. So I just tell people put it on the right side, but it doesn't matter where it goes. The nice thing is you don't have to take your hand off the handlebar to change the color.
You're rarely changing the color anyway. Once
you don't ride with me.
What's that?
You don't ride with me.
Well,
if you ride with me, we change color a lot.
Well, you're going to be in. If you're in front, you're in orange. So the three.
Yeah, this is displayed.
Well, hold on, no, Dad. The people in our group, they ride at the front, in the middle on green. I thought.
Yeah, that's right.
No. Yeah,
or solid white,
or solid white.
That's because you don't have the switch. You don't know what color you're on. Yeah,
for sure. I love that. Like when I unboxed the one for my sled, I was like, oh, that's sick. Like I was looking, oh, this button's got an LED around it, and then it was like, oh, it glows to indicate color. Yeah.
But if you look, it's a flexible, like the switch is on a flexible cord. This particular LED strip has a quick connector on it. The whole kit does. So you can pop this off, mount this thing, drill a hole through the windshield if you want to come through that way. And I have extension cables that extend these two connection points because some guys will mount them way down lower on the sled and the cable that comes on it won't be long enough, but I make a 12-inch extension cable and a 30-inch extension cable so people can, put it on almost anything. It's going to fit no problem. And I made it flexible like that so it would fit everything from a 1970 Panther to a 2025 Skidoo Ace Turbo.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And the cool thing about it,
that'd be cool under the sled too. But I think the idea is you want to be visible, right? Like.
So one thing I did is I made the kit so that it plugs into your RCA power jack. You don't have to wire this into your battery. So you don't need to be a master electrician like me in order to put the kit on your snowmobile.
Love that. Love it. If you want to wire it to the battery, though, the center post is positive. For anyone that wants to know. But yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, some people just with the white, but because it is a better, the Skidoo one is a better white light than what the original handguard lights
the
were.
Original LED handguards they made
they weren't very,
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they didn't.
Most people burnt out, and you only had half an LED or one handguard working. These new ones, though, like I've done this will be my second season. It's bright as hell. Like you see we just posted a video on Instagram the other day. It's like you can see them through the powder more than the headlights. Like it's crazy. They're that bright. They're really intense light.
And a lot of that has to do with color, the frequency of the color. Like green is the best for cutting through snow dust, believe it or not. We've tried all the colors. And green, the wavelength of the green light reflects less off snow particles, and it was easier to see through snow. Where everybody used to think amber was the color for that, but you ever notice that lasers are now green, they're not red?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All your lasers are green.
Yeah, it's true.
Way more visible.
Yeah. Even Star Wars got it wrong, you know. Hey, listen, I'm going to get into fan photos because we got quite a few to go through. You've sent me some video links as well. And then we've got a few of the people in the chat today send us some shots as well. So we're going to get right on this. Yeah. And let the fun begin, as they say in showbiz.
Fan photos are brought to you by Fast Track Snowmobile Traction. This season, quit sliding sideways on the ice and losing races to your buddies. A Fast Track stud kit will help you with improved braking and give you the arm-ripping acceleration you crave. I put over 3,000 clicks last season on my Renegade 850, and I'll tell you, these studs exceeded my expectations. Not one broken stud, my idle wheels still look like new, and they hooked up like I was on rails in the twisties, inspiring confidence every ride. Fast Track Top Gun kits are the highest rated stud kit at 4.9 stars with over 230 reviews. The studs are heat treated stainless so they are strong and they don't rust. The kit is lighter, easier on the track, and has a lifetime warranty against breaking. Each kit comes with a track specific template for complete balance with over double the scratch lines from stock templates. All listeners when purchasing a stud kit can get a free install kit, a $30 value. Visit fasttrack.co, add both products to the cart, and use the coupon code SNOW at the checkout. That's fasttrac.co.
Okay, what do we got here? Right there is what we want. So
Sure, something like that.
let me copy here. Greg Kelly sent us in this photo, and he says, "Hey Gary, can you ask Mike Galitz if he wants me to bring my winch for Sudbury? It certainly can be a big help. Cheers, Greg." He must have gotten in trouble ATV. I hope that wasn't on the weekend because there's actually no snow in that photo. It's kind of funny how the snow has been. Blind River, which is north of Sudbury, has very little snow, and we've got probably 8 inches on the ground here, and Barry got hammered on the weekend. I mean, Corey Brock was out riding today, and he sent me a photo, and it's like up to the front bumper, you know, on the sleds are buried. So pretty crazy how isolated it is. It's all this lake influenced snow, right? So, Drew, what do you got to say about this shot? Some shots Drew sent me in.
It's a very poorly running 700 triple, but it in true fashion, it runs wide open and nothing else. That's from lack of maintenance, though. This is my buddy Cole's sled. He picked this up last year from his grandpa. It's got 12,000 kilometers on it, but at least when he got it, you wouldn't know. Because the grandpa just meticulously took care of it, like took it to Yamaha every single year, and they did complete one. So I was like, we're talking toothbrush to the engine kind of things with this sled. But now it's not running so good. He needs to go get it. He needs to go get the carbs cleaned on. It basically runs on one cylinder at idle because the carbs are that plugged, or the jets or something are that plugged. But wide open, she screams. It screams like a triple should. So yeah,
I don't think
it's just fun to get on one.
I don't think he watches the show, but we're doing service on my daughter's car, and his brother comes in and goes, "I got to ask you a question about the snowmobile." I said, "Well, yeah, go ahead, man. What's that?" And he goes, "Does it cut down to one cylinder on idle? Is that like normal?" I was searching Google for it to see, but I'm pretty sure that's what this thing is supposed to do. And I go, "No, it's not supposed to cut down to one cylinder at idle."
They're not snowmobiles. It's whatever.
But my God, it's an animal once you get it, off idle. It's a lot of fun.
Extremely quick sled.
Yeah, ATV will like this photo.
Oh yeah, there's some. You can't. Oh, I think I have another picture of the boots though, right?
Yeah,
So
you do.
on the little bit of Boxing Day shopping, I was at family dinner, and Fox had a huge sale on all their last year's model gear. And I was eyeing this up since the spring, the Fox barbed wire series of stuff. And I've been wearing the same brain bucket for probably 13 years now. I swear I got that helmet in 2011 or 2012. So I figured it's probably time to get a new one. I said, what the hell? I need a new pair of boots as well. So wasn't really not expecting it. But hey, 50% off. These Fox Motion boots were too good of a deal to pass up. And that helmet is just so sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's going to look pretty good with that colorway on these boots. I'm not going to say too much, but it's going to look pretty good this summer.
Oh, for sure.
And that is maybe someone in the chat, I think it was a couple of people said they'd like these shirts. I don't know. Maybe we'll bring a couple to Lodge Session as prizes. Oh, mine's reversed. Yours isn't. It's
for sure.
The MUDBRATS Milwaukee. We'll call this maybe the MUDBRATS Red Zone shirt. And that's on my pack out. He printed out a couple stickers that fit on the pack out with our Bullwinkle fur in the background. So threw that on my box.
I may have put it on the shop on mudbrats.com.
Oh,
if not, I'll put it there for tomorrow. If you want a shirt, I'll put it on mudbrats.com, upper menu, hit the shop, and it'll be there. There's also a Champion knockoff, rip-off one that I've got as well. So I'll keep adding them as we go, but I'm working on a project right now. That this is going to mean something. So very cool. And this is Drew's pack out. I made Match's sled here. So
yeah. No, I should have got a picture of the inside of my packet before I left, because that was another thing I went out and bought was more pack out stuff, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Christmas. It was a good Christmas.
Yeah, no kidding.
And there is our Southern Ontario powder. Felt like a true free rider out there on Saturday. That was the day before I went back to school. It was like, let's get it loaded up. Let's go out one last time. And like that, there's a lot of snow. It was at one point, it was bogging the sled because it was plugging up the intake. Like it was going that much over the hood, going through the drifts. And you could see there, it's over the handlebars and snow. And it was all soft, which was the best part. It was like the most ideal fence line drift pounding. You brap them, huge jumps, and you're just getting like, I had my visor up most days because I was wearing the oxygen. Should have wore the moto helmet, but that was a poorly made decision. But so I had the visor up and it'd be getting snow like right in the mask of the helmet and hitting Master. Is that Muskoka? No, it's Port Sydney free rider.
Port Sydney free rider for sure. No, like you imagine. So that's kind of what it was always like when I was a kid. Can you imagine doing that on like a 1985 Motoski Mirage 368?
Yeah, it wouldn't sink like a rock like that thing did. Like these.
Oh, it does. Or an 80. It didn't have the power of that 850, right? So
but yeah, look, that thing looks good, covered in snow and not mud. I think that this is the first time I've actually had it packed up with snow. I've not had this thing in like any real powder like this. Like, look at that. There's what I was talking about. It just goes right up and over.
that 1.35 Cobra really did well in this stuff too. I will say that.
There's a few times that I got it right on the knife edge and was getting it right up and just give her full handful of throttle and she powered right up. Good carving and all that. It was a good time. And this is actually a pole that we mounted right on the bumper, the B Power bumper. We put a 360 camera on a pole. And we almost recreated a video from 10 years ago on the channel of losing a camera. Very nearly, but we found it. We're getting better. We know how to look for them now when we lose them in the powder.
Yeah, for sure. This is Chris Watson, and he says,
bonjour.
He says, hold on. I got to get his, he says, Happy New Year. Hey, Gary, Happy New Year. Still waiting for the trails to fully up. But meanwhile, we're running on the lake and tinkering with the sleds, adding hand warmers to the extra seats of the two XRSs. And of course, everything ends up with a potluck on New Year's Eve. Yeah, this guy knows how to do it. I'm telling you. But I think a lot of people are getting some lake time and boondocking like we were doing there. This time of year, it's great just to iron the kinks out, right? I think if you're on trails, like Drew and I went out December 6th to Halliburton Forest, and It could have went out.
Weekend after, not December 6th, December 10th.
It was the 10th?
Yeah,
and then, I probably could have went out 2 or 3 times since that, but I'm still sand sled right now, so we're hoping that changes sooner than later. But yeah, Chris has always got a good crew with him, and we're hoping we can ride with these guys one day, because look at this feast.
Wow.
It's this is the way he does it up, man. And they don't do it just in the houses. He actually does it on the trail as well. Big feasts like that. It's pretty cool. I enjoy.
Our patented muff pot butter tarts, and we'd be in business with them. I think that's kind of like a take a penny, leave a penny sort of thing.
Yeah. Bring
your own food.
Are these, Len? Like you've obviously put your lights on these 4-stroke turbos. Are they harder to remove are they harder to remove the panels than a regular Gen 5?
No, the Gen 5 is easier to get in to take the hood off than the Gen 4s were.
It is 2 less screws.
Yeah, there's less fasteners, and the parts are a little more accessible. Like that air intake is a little easier to get to than the old one.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. We always forget to undo that screw every time, and
everybody does it.
Jiggling the hood.
I can't tell you how many kits I put on the Gen 4s where I'd have a customer bring one to a show. Let's say when we were out in Novi, Michigan, I had a customer bring one, and the dealer that worked on the sled before I touched it never tightened that screw back up. Nothing. That connection was just flopping around. So
everybody does that though. Like,
yeah, I bet it happens a lot.
It's something that's so easy to forget.
Yeah,
I've heard of people leaving shop rags in the intakes as well.
That's a good way to slow your.
I don't think Denon's in the
competition.
Chat. That felt like that was out of pocket. I thought I don't think I saw Denon in the chat, but maybe he'll watch this.
No,
back.
He isn't. He might pop in now that he hears that.
It's like Spidey senses. He just knows someone's talking about him. Yeah. He had a rough week snowmobiling. I wish he would have sent in pictures of that.
Oh yeah. I should have actually grabbed those photos. I kind of forgot all about that. So Master sent me this picture. I love the guy in the background, Jacob. What the heck's he doing in the back there? He looks like he's showing some skin. Whoop, where are we going here? He says that he just picked up this 99 670 HO on Saturday, and that makes 3 670s and my dream sled for the 90s, but he's going to sell the 1997. And then he did a color change on a Green Bay Packers player over Christmas. Super cool guy. And then he said he had a great rip up in the UP this weekend. So yeah, there's the color change. Nice pink accents. Is that for Wisco? Well, and there's some photos from the UP.
Man, that sled looks great.
It does.
I need one of those rear bumpers.
Yeah, he needs a yellow B-Power bumper on that thing. I like I did the hood graphics on this thing, and when I laid them out, I went, this is sick. And then when he showed it to me on the sled, and when you see it 3D wrapped over all the panels, it's like, oh, dude, this is totally way better than what I ever thought it was going to be. Same with Corey's new wrap that he's got with the twist on the lava theme, and same thing. I love seeing the pictures.
Should have sent in photos of that, or added photos of that.
Yeah, he doesn't send me photos anymore. I think he's fell out of love, you know?
Yeah. And he was riding today, and he didn't send you any photos.
Yeah, he sent me by text, but I wasn't on my phone, and it doesn't count. No, it's got to be.
You got to send it to fan photo at MUDBRATS. You don't have the thing. You didn't put the thing down below.
Oh yeah, I'll put that.
I told you to make this. We've got to make this automatic. You could have it transition after the video.
I don't think it's that. I don't think the technology is that up there. Now they moved all my media assets, so
we can rebuild them. We have the technology.
That's right. Here we go. Fan photo at mudbrats.com. If you want to see your photos on this show, we enjoy showing them as much as you enjoy sending them in before noon on Mondays. How's that? So Here we go. It's your time to shine, Len.
I don't need to. My lights do all that.
Oh,
Okay, we'll just talk about rock music then.
No, that's fine. We'll talk about lights. What you have is, this is a picture. I think this is a group that when Brooke and I were riding, we did some photos. So I think that's where this picture comes from. But it's about safety with this light. It's about seeing and knowing what's up ahead. If you ride with these, you'll notice you can sense the movement of the snowmobile you see in front of you. So you know when there's a dip, a corner, a jump, anything, because you can see that light so easily.
Yeah, it's very cool. And like you said, look how bright they are in the daytime. And it's no joke. I mean, you can see them. Again, I'm not cutting up the oxygen because it's an amazing helmet and it's an amazing light. But there's times that you don't know that the oxygen light's on. But when you come across one of these on the trail, you see it, right?
Yep.
Here's a night shot. This is what I'm talking about with the color changes. And it looks like you've got young kids riding here as well. Like, that's the total safety. You know exactly. There's one family in all blue. So the Smith family's in blue, and you've got the two pinks or the, whoever. You know exactly if your group's together and where they're at, right?
That's what it's about. Yep.
Yeah. If you got Mike Galitz in pink and he hits the ditch and you don't see any pink lights ahead of you, you got to go back and find them.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I think
we call that an off-trail excursion.
yes. Do you think we can make?
We don't call it missing a corner.
Could we make a GPS tracker that turns a Lenn light on my dash every time Nick blows a corner?
So
that would also be a useful feature.
There we go. This picture is me on my grass drag sled in 1994.
This is cool.
And if you look, my sponsor was Moto Tazaneri. Who's Moto Tazaneri?
I don't know. I'd be lying.
V-Force Reeds.
Oh, right on.
Oh man, really?
Guess where he's from? New Hampshire.
Right on.
You got it. Steve Tazaneri. Awesome guy, awesome inventor. Huge success story with him, with V-Force Reeds.
I love him on the show.
There's not a clapped out 90s sled that doesn't have a V-Force sticker on it.
You should get Steve on there. Yeah.
Help me set that up, and we'll talk after the show. But that would be freaking amazing. I can see All-Terrain TV just drooling over that right now.
Oh yeah,
right?
No, he's located right here in central New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. And here you are today.
Polaris Ambassador. That's my Polaris Ambassador photo. If you go on Polaris's Ambassador website, you'll see me along with about 50 other ambassadors around the country that represent Polaris in a positive way.
Right on. So what kind of things do you do for the brand?
We actually could do quite a bit. We have homework almost every week. We've got to do something to promote Polaris. And in turn, we get to, like last, when was it? Last March, they flew us out to West Yellowstone to test drive all the new top secret stuff, which you now know is like the Dynamics, the electric shock one they just came out with.
Yeah.
And the XCR 9R and the Assault 9R. We got to try all those sleds firsthand. So they use us for feedback. We're kind of the link between the consumer, which we are also, and Polaris. We try to help out. We do group rides. I do a lot of I answer a lot of technical questions that people have. I know these sleds inside and out. I'm very familiar with them. I work on my own stuff, and so I'm on Hardcore Sledder, which is an online forum that we get to share information, help people get around issues, how to improve them, make them faster, make them handle better, make them ride better.
Yeah. Corey says, Len, you had a great segment on snow tracks.
Yeah. So Luke came down with the film crew, Luke Lester. And at the time, one of my best friends was Nick Vosnick, and Nick was the regional district manager or the regional manager for Polaris out on here on the East Coast. And they came down and did a segment, and they filmed it. And I had no idea when we were filming that it was going to be about me, but that's what it ended up being about, at least part of the segment. And I just showed them around. I showed them the trails in the northern New Hampshire area. And then we did 1 day off trail in Maine, which was really fun. So if you go on to Snow Tracks, I think it came out in 2019. I want to say it's episode 9 or episode 7.
Right.
But if you look it up on YouTube, it's on there.
I'm just going to put it in the chat, so when I go back later, I can figure that out, but and give her a watch. But yeah, Corey said he came across it yesterday, so it's still getting some traction. Really? Yeah. Wow.
That was back in 2019. I had my 2019 Indy 850, XC850.
Very cool. What do you like about the dynamics? Like, talk to me a bit about that, because I'm familiar with the Smart Shocks. I love them. What do you know about the Polaris dynamics? How does that work?
So obviously Fox helped Skidoo with their Smart Shocks, but Polaris actually took it to a new level. What they do different than Smart Shocks is they have what they call an EMU. It's an inertia measuring unit. It's its own little separate computer, and it's almost as big as the factory regular computer. And it's mounted right up in front, right next to the on the inside of where you put your spare belt on Polaris. And what it's doing is it's taking inertia, movement of the snowmobile, and it's taking that information, that data it's collecting, and it's transmitting it to the computer, which then tells the shocks what to do. The big difference between the dynamic system and the Skidoo Smart Shocks is that on Polaris, all 4 shocks are controlled by the computer, where on a Skidoo, it's only 3. Right, and the other thing is it's much quicker in its response. So let's say you're taking a corner. What it'll do is stiffen up the outside shock and back off the inside shock, which allows the inside ski to keep traveling properly and gripping the snow, while the outside ski is the one that's holding the sled from twisting or leaning, a body roll. And it's immediately noticeable when you first ride this thing. Within, I would say, a half a mile, something's different. You can just feel it. And it has 3 different modes. It's got a comfort mode, it's got a rally mode, and it's got an extreme mode. And what that basically does is where the shock starts. In comfort mode, it starts in a very soft, pliable, cushiony feel, but it still reacts to everything the same as it would in another mode. And then in the next mode up, it's a little bit stiffer, and then in extreme mode, extreme mode is something you'd use on really good groomed trails where you're not really dealing with bumps and you just want the ultimate handling. That's when you put it in extreme mode.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like similar modes that the Smart Shocks have, but yeah, my drones, and there's a bunch of drone pilots in the chat as well. The drones have an IMU, so I'm very familiar with how they work and how they calculate movement and motion. So I can believe it's a pretty decent system.
Is it the same actual system that they used on the side-by-sides? Did they just carry the exact technology from the Pro R?
Sort of, yeah. There is some technology that crossed over, but it's definitely been improved.
Because that was actually Fox that made that for Polaris, and then also for Skidoo, the Smart Shocks was basically the exact same, because Fox makes this. It's live valve.
They do.
It's like they claim it's different, but it is basically the same. So I was just curious about that. So yeah, I'd love to try one, actually. I think that just to see, like, comparing, is
Yeah.
between sport shocks and dynamics. So 'cause I
Yeah,
love
and we
sport
have
shocks.
one.
Great.
We've got a Dynamics. Brooke is driving an 850 Dynamics this year. That's their company sled.
That's awesome. Send it up.
What a company.
Fly on down. You can just ride with us.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, I think this is a light Corey was talking about. This looks great. I love the shape of it and how it's integrated right in the back of the Mission. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, so that was one of my goals, was to have more of a factory looking built-in light. And because I'm a fan of the Mission helmet and I've had one for 6 seasons, I took my new Patriot helmet and I sent my manufacturer some of the pieces off it, including a whole helmet. And I told him what I wanted to do, and my engineer, he was great. He worked up 3D like printed diagrams that I could look at, and then I would tell him, okay, let's do this and do this. And what we did is we recreated that side vent panel, put all the wiring in that, and then there's a short piece of wire with a quick connect that goes to the back, and you basically just remove the back vent panel, and that vent panel is what vents the heat out of the helmet. The breath vent is the thing with the wiring in it.
Yeah, it comes out the side.
Yeah, that comes out the side, and that uses the Venturi effect to extract your breath out of the helmet so it doesn't fog up. So that back vent piece comes out with a couple screws. You unscrew the little black cap that they have that says DOT on it. You put my light in, then you connect the 2 wires and you put it all back together, and now you've got a factory looking built-in light.
And does it still vent out the back there as well?
Oh yeah, it doesn't change anything. It does not affect the function of the helmet whatsoever. Still vented.
Genius. That's
It
awesome.
literally looks factory.
And I've got one right here. I can show you what it looks like up close.
Here, I'll put you on the.
Put them on the big screen.
It's just, guys, I'm a snowmobiler like you, and I just was lucky enough to find a company that wanted to work with me, and that's kind of how I'm able to develop all this really cool stuff now, is because the manufacturer is a big part of it. The team there at that company I use, they're amazing with what they can do. So that is that side vent panel that is on the Mission helmet. And if you look at the back side of it, it's only held on with 3M tape. That's all they use at the factory to hold that piece on. So it's easy to pull it off. And if you look, I have a little junction thing here. This is where the PCB, the printed circuit board, is.
Yeah.
That powers everything through the heated shield cord. This goes to your heated shield. That connects to this little module, which is the exact same shape as the existing vent piece that you pull out of the helmet. And so when you put it all together, you get that factory looking helmet.
Very cool.
And then the back of it, you can see where the 2 screws screw in that hold that on. And it still vents. The air still flows around it and comes out of the helmet.
Yeah, very cool. Nice job.
Thank you.
You don't run over that stuff by accident. That takes some thought and engineering to make that all work and fit.
It did.
Look like it should.
Yeah. Because those guys aren't snowmobilers like I am, the engineers I deal with.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of, when we first started working together, there was a lot of trial and error. And I remember we had problems with products in the cold that weren't holding up. And I finally had a moment where I'm like, guys, do you have a freezer? And they're like, yeah. And then put it in the freezer, leave it in there for a few days, then take it out and test it. That's how you test for snowmobiling.
I love it.
You got to freeze the stuff. And so lucky for me, my wife has 2 restaurants with 2 big walk-in freezers. So guess where I do a lot of testing in the summertime?
That is
right
awesome.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got to be able to hold up in the cold.
Yeah. Rob Overold said he likes that light. And then he said, I think I might have to get one.
Greg just repeated that as well. Have to get one for my Mission. Looks awesome.
So
Yeah, it's
anybody
very-
that's watching tonight that wants to buy anything off our website, I want them to use the discount code so we can give them a little bit of a break.
I do too. I want them to use a discount code as well.
So I want them to
you
use.
do it. He said, "What's the discount?"
Yeah, there we go. So the discount code is capital SAVE. So SAVE
I got it.
10.
Put it
The
in
number 10.
Drew's going to put it in the chat for us. Right
Just
on.
a minute.
Thank you so much.
Save 10.
The discount
Save
code is not
Discount
money.
code.
Monkey. I can make that a discount code.
Discount code. Money Master.
I can go right in
Money
there
Mike.
right now and make Monkey Mike a
Make-
discount code.
Make MUDBRATS a discount code.
I can if you want me to.
Yeah,
MUDBRATS 10 or
MUDBRATS,
something?
and then I'll promote it on when I do my videos. I'll make sure I promote it, and they'll save 10%.
Yeah, let me write this down. So I will do this as soon as we get done this chat. I'll go on and
Discount
do
code MUDBRATS, and they save 100% on their product purchase.
And you know what? If they use MUDBRATS, then you'll know who's came from my channel.
You're right. So that's a great idea. Discount
That's
code.
how you heard the coupon code SNOW from Fast Track and stuff. That's how they know that they're getting good results with.
And what I'll do is because I appreciate you guys promoting me and my daughter Brooke and our company. And I am a veteran, by the way. I forgot to mention that I am a
thank you for your service.
U.S.
You did.
Army
Thank you.
veteran. And so we're a veteran, female, father-daughter owned company. If people want to know. And we're snowmobilers just like you guys. We really do ride.
Yeah. I
So
think
I'll
that's-
make the MUDBRATS code 15% off anything you order. How's
That's
that?
awesome. So MUDBRATS and 15% off. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
No
Love it.
problem.
Live.
Thank you so
on
much.
the-
So
on
everybody
the
watching,
podcast.
just give me about a half an hour before you light up my phone lines to start ordering. To get that on there.
Lapoinski says you guys are amazing. So, and listen,
Thank you.
I may have some extra parts that Len sent me up for Lodge Sessions poker run. So
Oh yeah, don't
So then
forget
I
to
can win them all
do
again
that.
this year.
yeah, so we will, and maybe I'll do a draw before then too. But we have poker run prizes from LJE. Thank you so much. It's going to be awesome, and keep the discount codes combo. Modal Jungle safe.
50%. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool. But Motorsport Channel says if it wasn't for that Polaris thing, I'm only kidding.
No.
Ouch.
Hey, they're all good. They're all good
They
sleds.
They are.
Except for the
Yeah.
two manufacturers who are leaving now.
Yeah, I know. All Terrain
Three,
TV did
actually.
have a question going back to the shocks, the dynamics. What's the service life of the shocks? If something fails, do they still work like a regular shock? Or
Yeah.
do they go into dumb shock mode?
Yeah. So obviously they have wires going to them and they're controlled by the computer. So if something does happen, the shock actually goes full stiff because the needle, they call it a live valve needle that's in there. It's a big needle on solenoid that's moving back and forth, and it's very fast. It can respond very quickly to what the EMU is telling it to do. And if they go in for default fail safe, Polaris just makes them go full stiff. That way you don't have your sled bouncing on one shock because it's too soft. And their service life is exactly the same as any other shock. If you know anything about shocks, if you put any kind of miles on, like let's say you do 3,000 or 4,000 miles a year, you're going to want to have your shocks refreshed every year. And I know it's a lot of people are like, I'm not going to do that. You don't have to. But if you saw the oil that came out of a shock after that kind of mileage, it pretty much looks like milky oil. And that's just because the shock is outdoors in the freezing cold. It's seeing heat cycles. The shafts are letting moisture in. There's no way to stop that. There's not a shock out there that doesn't get moisture in it over time. And you know those
we
guys.
know this story too well, Len. You don't even
You know the guys. They go to get on their sled in the morning and they sit on it and it sinks to the ground and it won't come back up.
This was
And
me.
they're
going to
riding like
Quebec
this all
last
day?
year. It was stuck. It was stuck like that as soon as I backed it out of the trailer because we actually think we know when I blew the shock out last season as well. But those things I would have loved. We didn't rebuild them. We have our backyard recreation just down the street from us does all of our service on our unit. So
Great.
He said it was pretty nasty what came out of them.
Oh yeah, you know those shocks. Just think about snowmobiles in general. They are in the most extreme environment of any vehicle except what they put up in space. There's nothing that sees a more violent life than a snowmobile. And you got to take care of them. You got to stay up on the maintenance, and shocks is part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's a very honest thing to say. Like you're just telling the way it should be, and it's the same as smart shocks. You need to still service them. They're not something that you can just ride and 10 years it's still running like it is. Yeah.
It's still a KYB Pro 40 underneath the wiring. It is still the same shock.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically the same shock that's on an XRS. It just has a live valve system and with sensors that can detect and change your dampening for you.
Yeah. And these shocks are not really any more complicated than a regular shock. They're really not.
And that's what the dealers have told us too. When we asked about that when they came out, like, oh, is it more expensive or is it anything to rebuild smart shocks? Like, well, no, it's basically the same shock. Once you remove the electronic body from it, it's the same shock.
Yeah. It is. Everything else is the same.
Is it a Walker's Evan underneath the Polaris Dynamics?
No, it's all Fox.
It's all Fox? Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's all Fox. Yep, that whole system was developed by Fox and Polaris, and they're all Fox shocks.
Like,
and all four of them
red
are
over
electronic,
here,
not 3, 4.
Yeah, right. Hey, Chris Watson, man, thank you so much. Super sticker. I don't have my sound effects anymore, but ka-ching. I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That's going to go right into the old sled fund, I'm telling you. Right? So, yeah, no, that's the thing. Corey had a shock failure a few years ago, said it rides like a dump truck. Greg Kelly says actually it's a log truck.
Ultra TV says like it rides like his SAS 4Runner. Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Those are all...
But we did talk about the Blizzard Buster oxygen helmet light. I like it. Very cool. I can't wait to ride and have people say on the comms how bright it is, and you're going to hear, and I'll shout out the code for the coupon code.
Did we get 2 of those sent to us?
What's that? One? We may have.
Will that may
I sent him a bunch. Gary has a bunch of goodies.
Yeah, Trust me. I do.
That may end up on my helmet the next time I come home to go for a ride.
I was so floored when I opened the box. I'm going, oh my God, you didn't have to do that. That was amazing. It's I don't charge to be on the show. I don't expect anything for free here. But I mean, you said, hey, send me your address, and I did, and I was just expecting to get the helmet light or something, and here I got a whole set. So yeah, it's going to be cool. So Lodge Sessions is going to be killer. LJE, you're going to get some good exposure there, and I can already tell the motorsport channels practicing shuffling cards for the poker
counting cards.
Counting cards.
Got taken to Vegas apparently.
But there you go, 200 lumens of light. That's how bright they are. So it's pretty crazy. I don't know what the other lights are when you see them on other helmets, the stock lights, but they might be 40 or 50 lumens.
Yeah, they're not much. No, they're not much. No.
Yeah. But no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so it doesn't interfere with the heated shield. I mean, it's LED, so yeah.
It only draws a half a watt. The light itself, so the power consumption is very minimal. And that's basically because LEDs are very efficient.
Yeah. Is that does it take a full 12 volts to run, or can you run them on like 3 volts?
No, the PCB, which is the printed circuit board, and the diodes themselves in the light strip will not power up until they see at least 9 volts.
Okay.
and they have a range of 9 to about 20 volts. So they'll take upwards of 20 volts before they just shut off, because it's too much. Over that, it's going to burn out the LED itself, the light emitting diode. So, and those are what we call SMB. So it's surface mounted. It's a surface mounted chip on a board, and we use a flexible black board, so it blends in with the helmet, and it can adapt to a different bunch of contours, because helmets are all over the place in size and shapes.
Yeah.
And so they developed this strip just for my helmets, for our helmet light. And that's one type of technology. The one that you see on the mission helmet is a COB, which is a chip on board LED technology, which is a different kind of technology. And that's why that one's so bright, because it's very concentrated in that small little triangular area.
Yeah.
But there's
right on.
actually the LED technology is changing quite often, and there's a lot of new stuff coming on the road that we're going to be able to use.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, and that's the thing. It's like that. What's underneath the handguards on the old dew lights? I took one apart to fix, and it's just the strip LED, like what you've got, two rows of here, right? And they just put a thin cap over it, which diffuses the light, so it looks like one neon,
Yes.
beam going around, and it's just fooling. It's just a diffuser, so that it's your exact light there being diffused into a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And then this is the patent you sent on it.
That was my first ever patent.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I have a patent in Canada too for the same patent in Canada.
Right
I got
on.
that this past spring. That came through and got approved.
Very cool.
And then I have one pending on the mission helmet, as well as other things. And like I said, I've always got something in the works. So if you guys, keep an eye on me, you'll see more products coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do people keep an eye on you? You want to shout out your social media channels?
Yeah,
if you want to type them into the chat.
My daughter Brooke is the one that takes care of those, but we have our website, which is www.ljeproducts.com, and then we're on Facebook, the same name, Instagram. What's another one? I'm forgetting.
Are you on TikTok or?
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, I think we're on there. That's my daughter's department.
And YouTube, you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yes, yeah, and that one you pretty much look up Brooke Johnson Snowmobiling. That'll come up that way, or LJE Products, but it's mostly under her name, Brooke Johnson.
Yeah, I see that on the Instagram.
Yeah, and if you type in Brooke Johnson Snowmobiling, that's the quickest way to find all of our videos. And we have installation videos for all the products. That was us 2 years ago at a hill climb in Vermont. And believe it or not, there was snow there. You just can't see it.
I was going to say, it looks like the last winter's snow that we've had.
Yeah, the last winter's lack of snow.
Yeah. Very cool. I like the graphics package on those last sleds too, the LJE, just subtly in the bottom panel.
Yeah, Brooke does all that for us. That's her. So that's Brooke racing, that picture you just had. And she races at the Golden Child Nationals, which is held on Back Lake in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. And she has won the 850 stock class 2 years in a row.
Right on.
First time she ever raced, she took first place. I wonder where she learned how to do that.
That's cool. Oh, probably from the Reed guy. The Reed guy probably taught her.
I don't even know if Steve even snowmobiles anymore. I'm not even sure.
What is the GoPro on her back for?
Yeah, she's got so far that's ahead, the gap cam. Yeah, that's the gap cam.
Yeah, watch the videos, guys. I sent you the links. Watch the videos and you'll see what the GoPro on her back is for.
Yeah, we're gonna actually be watching. We're gonna click the links. It's the last slide that we're gonna go through here today. It's
Okay.
very cool.
And there she is getting her winner trophy.
What's Golden Child? Is that a name of a town?
So it's a race that's been going on for quite a while up in the northern New Hampshire area. They actually have one in New York also, and it's kind of friends got together and came up with this thing, and it's been a hit. It's a very well run race. They don't allow any cheating or anything like that, and they do check for it. And it's family oriented, and it's just mostly for fun and bragging rights.
Right.
But
do they have a lit tree that you actually run off of, or is it a hand drop?
They have this kind of a tree.
Right on. Perfect.
Yeah, this is what they do. Boom, go.
Just like Pink's. I love it.
Yeah, and that sled is not hers. That was one of the guys that she drives for.
Yeah,
that's sweet. A 2022 XCR 850.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. Do you guys do anything suspension wise or anything to those sleds? Do you leave them kind of stock?
No, you're not allowed to do too much. You're not allowed to lower them or do anything like that. So they're pretty much stock. We just adjust it for Brooke's weight, try to get her to hook up and get out of there as quick as she can. And this is a picture of her dynamics that she created the wrap for this sled. And we were studying that on New Year's Eve. We were putting the studs on it.
What a fun New Year's Eve.
Yeah, what else you gonna do? Oh, well, it's still daylight, the partying hadn't started. So I told Brooke, come on over and let's get the studs on that thing.
That's awesome.
There you go.
And she's learning, she's learning about how to do all this
cordless
stuff.
ratchets there too. There you go. Well,
you just blew my joke there. I was going to say Drew can't take his eyes off of Brooke's long neck cordless Milwaukee ratchet.
You got the stubby high speed and the long neck high torque.
Well, you know what those tools do? They make the process a lot faster.
Yeah.
I want to
being
say
an electrical contractor, everything I own is Milwaukee.
Yeah. Drew didn't have room to take his Milwaukee packouts with him back.
I should have took the stubbies back.
No, I used them this morning to take Lisa's snows off.
You better put everything back.
Nope.
And you better not have dropped that gun 6 times on the ground like the last time. I got one of them. So they just released the Gen 2 stubby fuel M12 impact gun. Because I wanted to buy it, so I went out and bought it. I used it once, and then I said, "Oh, here, you try it." And he tries it on one of my sister's wheels and instantly drops it on the ground after using it. Just threw it on the ground.
You just throw them after you get the lug nut. You just toss it and move on to the next thing, right?
Oh, there's the lights.
Yeah, that's the Gen 4 2-stroke whiteout right there.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And that's, again, that light has its own switch. And like you said, on electric start models, it plugs to that buds connector, which has constant power and allows you to have a light when your sled's not running.
Len, do you have that light there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, grab it because I want to show it because it's not the little LED squares that you see on the other lights. It's actually a finished, just like your handguard lights. Totally finished.
So this is the light. It's mounted to the stock grill of the sled. So this is your stock Gen 4 2-stroke grill that you're going to see on your sled. And if you look, there's rib nuts that come through here and mount this right through this into the belly pan of the snowmobile, and that's what holds it all in. Also, if you look, I don't know if I can show it, but under here, there's 3M adhesive for the lower part that sticks to here, to the grill. that holds it in place. And then here's the wiring harness. And again, it has a quick connect, just like everything I use, so it could come apart for service and for putting it together. And then it has its own backlit switch, which mounts right on your dash, which is a waterproof switch. And then there's an inline fuse, and here's your buds connector, and I have a temporary power plug hooked up to it. That's why you see some electrical tape.
Yeah, I was going to
say. And this is what I use at shows to show people. And this light is even brighter than my Polaris kit. This is 2,000 lumens of light.
Wow, that's a headlight brightness.
And it looks yellow when it's not on, because that's the COB, the Cobb LED that's in there. I put it up close enough, you might be able to see those Cobb LEDs. But that kit retails for $150. I think we have it on sale right now for $139.99.
And you get 15% off with MUDBRATS coupon.
Yeah, you're going to get even a better deal if you use that discount code.
Yeah. Lepoinski says, can you make the lights flash, say, if you're broke down on the trail?
I could do that. But then I have to add a more complicated switch and a flashing module. And I'm really about simplicity and keeping the cost down. And that light is so bright when people come, they're going to see it. As soon as they even get near it, they're going to see that light. And they're going to know that there's a sled parked on the side of the trail. So there's not really a reason to do flashing. Now, if you had like the ride light, where that's just a little 9-volt battery that's powering those LEDs, and that has a flash mode on it where you can do that, but that's because the light's not very bright to begin with. But the whiteout light that we market and sell, that we designed, is so darn bright that once you have it on, Gary, you put it on. Is it going on Drew's sled? Is that whose sled it's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, once you put it on there and fire it up, you're going to be really surprised how bright it is. It kind of looks like a fog light on a car or a pickup.
Yeah, how many times we pull up to the trailer in the dark, and before we get the truck started, get the trailer lights on, you shut the sleds down, you realize it's pitch black. Like and one of the things we're going to do is we're going to put that switch inside the glove box, just so it's not on the dash. I mean, there's
nothing against it. I just am really against drilling more into my dash. They already got a bunch of the Skidoo switches, and it's just like, it's ordered. Yeah, because if I get rid of this sled, I want to take all my accessories off it because they all work on a newer sled.
It's flexible enough; it'll go anywhere you want to go.
The glove boxes, the glove box pretty much just sit inside behind your dash. So I just want to go on the bottom of the glove box and just take a hole saw and go right through the bottom and
in the side,
light in there, and I can just reach in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the side.
In the side.
So you can reach
just
in.
Remember that if it's in the glove box and you got stuff bouncing around in there, it might turn the light on and off.
I don't keep stuff.
Nothing bounces around. It's a Skidoo. It rides smooth. It doesn't bounce around.
And it's a Skidoo. You don't need to carry a spark plug tool in your glove box with you everywhere you go. You're fine.
Yeah. No, we thought about that too. So, but no, they look great. It's very cool. And I'm glad you showed that housing, because it's not the little multi squares. It's a sealed unit. So if you have you do handguards, signal light kit, or if you have any other Skidoo LED products, it matches it. Like it looks like something BRP would make. Very slick.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I like how you don't have to
took some time to get that right.
I like how you don't actually have to plug it into your existing daisy chain of accessories.
Yeah,
because it's already a rat's nest under the hood when you get all the stuff that we have as it is.
Sure, yeah.
So I like the fact that you run it and it just plugs into the buds connector. I think that's genius because, again, buds connector, power always, and stuff like that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, I needed to find. Being an electrician and being, now that we're marketing products for anybody to install, I had to keep it simple, stupid, the KISS principle, right? Yeah. I just needed to make things so that people couldn't mess them up, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, it's very.
We make them, you guys break them, and that's how I learned.
Yeah, And I wish I could zoom in on this photo because the you can see the mounting pegs, and he gives you those little bullets. Like, so Skidoo already has the two just to the left and the right of the lights, just under the red bumper. There's two little bullet targets.
Push pins. They're push pins.
Sorry, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And Skidoo already has them. You just pull the Skidoo ones out, and Lenn gives you two new ones to put in.
Yeah, mine are a little bit longer to accommodate for the thickness of the light housing that you're putting on there.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know what? Like Drew said, if you want to take it off and put it on another sled, you just heat it up, melt that, heat up that 3M adhesive. You're pulling those pins out, and it'll pop off, and your sled will look like it did, before you put the light on.
Exactly.
I'm not blowing smoke up your bum because you're on the show or anything, but this stuff is well engineered. It's well thought out. Look at the sled on the right, how far away it is from us, and what do you see? You see the green courtesy light, and you see those really bright whiteout lights. I think it's cool.
Right. Yep.
I can't wait to see him in action, man. Oh, and the one on the left is a Polaris of 2 bars. Amy, she just posted on Instagram. She got her kit installed. That might be her sled. I don't know. Maybe it is. But she posted it, and it looks great, and she's really pleased with it. So,
thanks, Amy.
Yeah.
So if you go to shows, if you see us at shows around the country, that's what our booth looks like.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, we do about 6 shows. Toronto is on the radar for us, and that's a little bit more logistically a little tougher to pull off because we got to go to Canada with all this product and the sleds and yada yada. But we're gonna try to get up there at some point.
Yeah, perfect.
Do you guys do heydays?
That's the only one I haven't done yet. I get that one a lot, that question a lot, and
it's far. That's a far haul for you guys to get to.
Oh, it is. I'm gonna have to take probably a week and a half to do that one.
Yeah, because you got to go. Vendors have to get in by Thursday morning or something stupid like that.
Yes.
Like it's really early in the week, and then swap meet is Thursday night. Like it's like Wednesday night for vendors, Thursday night for the swap meet guys, and then it's like everybody has to be done by Friday morning and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Logistically,
it's like that at a lot of other shows we do too, but that one's a hike and a big commitment for us. But I think we're ready to try it. We might be there this coming year.
Yeah, if I was to consult you on it, I would say do heydays and not Toronto. I mean, do them both if you can, but if you had to pick between the two, you're not crossing the border. And heydays is Drew and I went for our first time this past year, and it was such a fun show.
That's what everybody tells me. They say it's a real good time out there.
The Toronto Snowmobile show was depressing. It's not what it used to be. It's almost like when you said Toronto and driving up and cross the border. I don't want to deter you from the marketing, but people have kind of lost interest in that show here in Canada as well.
I hope it turns around though. I hope that people don't lose faith in it and we can bring it back. I know a lot of people want to see that show survive and succeed. So we'll just see what happens there. Throwing Sparks says, how about Snowfest in Old Forge?
I was there. I was at the Snowdio in Old Forge 2 weeks ago. We were there, and it was great because they had snow. People were riding in, and we actually did very well at that show. I was very surprised how much we sold there. Really, I was very surprised.
Oh, for sure. That's awesome that you can ride into a show. Oh, what are we looking at here? Oh, those are the 2 sleds again with the wraps and stuff. Looks cool.
That was Brooke's Assault, a 21 Assault that she rode. That we actually sold that sled in Novi, Michigan at the show. We had a couple that the wife really liked the look of the sled, and she bought it. And
the pink one.
And because we had a for sale, Brooke had a for sale sign on it at every show. She had to make room for the new one,
Yeah, for sure.
And that was my 22 XCR. This year I'm on a red Assault, which I think I sent you a picture of that.
We probably got it in here.
850 or 9R.
And there's the Mission Light That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's cool. I
We
like
did
it.
not get the 9R because I rode the 9R XCR back to back with the Dynamics, and whoever was on the Dynamics was out front. I don't care
Is that
who was
right?
driving. There was 10 of us there riding these things, and all the ambassadors I ride with can ride. Really great group of people, these guys and girls, because we've got women in there too. We have Whitney from Mass, and we had Miranda from, I think she's from the Midwest, and those two girls can ride. They're really good riders. But I'll tell you that Dynamics and the bumps, unbeatable. How good that thing goes.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll be able to take Nuns out for a quick burn this winter.
Yeah, so yeah, Nuns is an ambassador, and he's got one of these things, and I'll tell you, he's riding one because he got to try it too.
Yeah, for sure. He said he loves it. He rode his home from the dealer. I don't know that you follow him on
I did. I saw
media.
that. Good for him.
Beginning of December.
I heard he took the roads. I heard he had to take the roads, but
there was they had so much snowfall in Gravenhurst, the town he lives, and that whole region, that they had a state of emergency, and they were asking snowmobilers to help out with people stranded on the highway, like bringing them food, water, and things like that. And that was the thing. He got his sled like the day the snow started falling, so all the roads were shut. So he just rode his sled home. Like, what a cool story that is.
You don't get to say that very often.
No.
In 2024, you wouldn't think you'd be saying that.
No.
Yeah.
Len, is this your helmet that we're looking at? Or
yeah, that's the Patriot Mission. I was when that was a limited edition they released last season, and I was lucky enough to be able to get my hands on one.
I don't know whether anybody can see it at home, but man,
it's clear enough.
The graphics are insane. It's almost like Stars and Stripes and lots of flow and carbon fiber, and I just love it.
Oh, it's a beautiful helmet. It really is.
It's even on the visor too. The graphics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good attention to detail from them.
It's almost like hydro dip. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever run that optical tinting lens in the Mission?
Yeah, that Patriot Mission comes with, it's called a photochromatic lens.
Yes, that's
and it turns completely black when you're out in the sun. It's total badass looking.
But
really
I know our friend Denon has one. It was fairly dark and it was still black. Like, how long does it take to go back to clear?
It's based on sunlight, so what it would be, as long as there's some daylight out, it's going to be somewhat dark. Okay. It looks black but when you're inside the helmet looking out, you don't even notice it. I'll tell you the truth. It's just like your photochromatic.
We were having a chuckle with Denon. It was like dark out. We thought maybe the helmet, maybe you could actually see then, but it was dark out. We're like, he still looks like Darth Vader over there. What's going on? What's going on? Can he see?
Yeah, it actually, the darker it gets, the clearer it gets.
Okay.
He said that he could see fine. He said he loves it. That's what I was just asking. I was curious about that. So yeah. And then we talked about that, and you showed us an example of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is this your new sled here?
So that's me in West Yellowstone with all the other ambassadors driving the Dynamics, the prototype model. And if you look at that thing, I am cranking that corner pretty darn fast. And look at the amount of body roll there is.
None.
In that sled.
Yeah.
There's very little because of the way it works.
That's cool.
Look at how they actually paint the shock dad to match the sled.
Yeah.
You see that actually on the shock tower itself. I love that colorway this year too. It's a sweet looking color. The dark red with a little bit of an orange tint to it as well. It's sweet.
It's like a burnt orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
cool. The shock is a different color. Yep.
I do like that when you're picking your spring orders on the Polaris, you can color away just about every piece of that sled.
You can.
Like it's kind of a neat thing. And
like we get two color options, pick and skidoo. For per sled, it's two colors. That's it. That's all you get. It's two colors.
Polaris has been doing this stuff for a long time. They call it customization. Where you can mix and match colors. Like you can paint your Your slide rails one color, your tunnel another color, your spindles. You can mix and match a little bit. It's kind of neat. We might have to convert you two.
Yeah, that's
take a
going to be
lot.
tough.
That would take a lot.
I can get a black Skidoo and then just custom color.
Yeah,
myself.
you can put a wrap on it. Yeah.
That's I did ride the VR1 650 a couple years ago, and it was pretty impressive. I was blown away by the girl riding it across the lake, and she was keeping up with all the 850s and everything on this little 650. I was like, man, I gotta ride this thing. It looks like a rocket ship. But the yeah, it's pretty cool. And Odie's got a 650 this year, so I can't wait to ride with him as well. So that's kind of cool.
That was another photo from West Yellowstone with the ambassadors.
Why are you so serious looking in this shot? Like, what's going on?
They're when you're sitting there, they're shooting a lot of film, right? And they're holding the shutter. So that particular picture, I guess they liked because I looked like I was serious.
Yeah,
I was in deep thought.
It's a man's machine.
And I think I was on the Titan in that picture. That's the new Titan.
Yeah, nice.
And that's
looks
how
like
I
you're
look.
Standing still while doing 100 miles an hour.
Hey,
That's what I look like under my visor when he's getting all of his cameras ready. That's why I put the tinted visor down.
Yeah.
Just
That's
before
right.
he gets
That's
his cameras.
this is what I think I look like right here.
Love it.
But and here's another shot of those
that's cool.
Blizzard Busters. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that
Looks
was
like
a family that sent me that picture from, I believe they're from Michigan.
Yeah. And that's another word that I didn't use is, did I use it yet? They're fun. Like that's such a fun shot. Like what a family ride, right?
Yeah. And again, keeping track of each other based on colors and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You can change your least favorite offspring to the one color, and then you don't have to worry about them.
I just wouldn't even bother buying them the light.
Is the blue light gone? Yep. Okay, we can just keep rolling then.
Yeah.
If a pink disappears, we got to make sure we stop. There's no comment from Lenn on that. I don't know.
A delayed reaction.
And here's another shot of that Skidoo, and you can see the amber courtesy light there. And again, you mentioned it, but you can mount that courtesy light anywhere you want.
You can.
Yeah. I know that. I think Chris Watcham was struggling with the windshield mounted Skidoo signal lights on his 4-stroke. And I mean, this is a solution right here. You could put that on the windshield if you want. You could put it on the body panel. I think as long as it's visible, I think that's the trick with those.
Yeah, and what's nice too about the LEDs I use, I think they're a 60-degree LED, so they shoot the wavelength of the light out like this. They're not focused like some LEDs are. Really, you got to look right at them to see them. So you could put that at different angles, and it's still going to show up very well.
Nice. That's a great point. Whose Skidoo is this? Do you know?
I do. It's my nephew, Cody.
Very cool. He's got the adjustable windshield on it and everything. He's got this thing spec'd out.
Oh yeah. He was the first one. He was the second sled to get the light. The first guy was a friend of mine, Dan Cummings, and we put the first prototype on his sled, and it really wasn't bright enough. So I had them rework the lights and make them even brighter. And then we put these on Cody's, and that turned out to be the magic lumen number. And now that's the kit that you see that's available online.
Yeah. So here's something, Chris, with the stock signal lights from BRP. When he runs with his high beams on, and he's got a Gen 5 900, might be an R. It's a 900 4-stroke. When I run with my highs on, I'm told that they can't see people coming at them, the signal lights. Have you heard that complaint from the stock ones? And then how about yours?
Now, mine you can see easily because those are almost 200 lumens of light. So mine are much more visible. And I understand why that's happening, because I think the ones that are on the Skidoo, are they on the hand guards, the ones he's talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there'd
the
be
handguard
he
light.
was putting them on the handguard or the handguard light. Not the handguard, the windshield mirror or whatever it is. That new
Okay.
kit. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically because Skidoos they're not as many lumens as what we make.
Yeah, windshield. That's
Windshield,
right.
yeah.
That's right. The other thing is with your highs, generally when you're running at night, you're going to turn your high beam down if someone's coming at you anyway, right?
Yeah,
So
you should be.
you really should only be battling the low beam power of the lights. So yeah, turn your low beams on.
That's probably the biggest
Why did
comment I get from people that have had the trail courtesy light, because we released it last year, so we have quite a few customers that have them now, and they say that the number one comment they get is how visible it is. It's super visible. You know what it is when you see it.
Yeah, I think now that people know about you when they're riding and they see, especially if it's a Polaris, you know it's your product, right?
Yes, it's very unique.
When they see that Polaris coming at you with a signal light, with a courtesy light or the signal light kit on it, they're going to know that it's yours, and they're going to realize the brightness of it. And that's the thing. I didn't realize you were the only one making the Blizzard Buster helmet lights. And then when I start seeing them, like last year, I noticed them popping up. And this year, we've only been on the trail once. There was a ton of people in the Halliburton Forest with your lights on their helmet. And it was
awesome.
Like, man, oh yeah, like and I'm talking a handful. I'm talking 5 or 6 sleds we seen in the video. That there's 3 sleds. They all had them on the one was being towed, I think, wasn't it, Drew? But yeah, it's they all had the courtesy lights on, and we've seen a few more throughout the day. So yeah, they're
Nunzio's been really great about promoting out there for me too. You know, he's as an ambassador, he's been really good at helping, and anybody else that's out there that's a Polaris ambassador.
Yeah, Nuns, if you watch my Halliburton video from last year, the first trail ride, we come against Nuns, so he pulls up to talk to me. You'll see it in action on the video. It's very cool. I love the Skidoo signal light kit. I think it's a great thing. I wish everybody would get them. I love your kit, how it's got versatility, as you can mount it anywhere you want, and you can put it on absolutely any sled. Doesn't have to be Polaris. It could be a Skidoo. It could be an old sled, new sled, red sled, blue sled. You can mount that.
I am going to interject here, Gary, and I want to remind people that these things require direct current, DC power. So your older sleds, let's say you have a 2002 Polaris, Edge 600 XC or something.
Nice one.
And it doesn't have electric start. It's not going to work on that sled, because that sled, the stator, only produces AC power, alternating current.
That's right. I stand corrected. I should have thought about that one.
But if it has electric start, it'll work. Or if you buy a bridge rectifier, it's a converter that converts AC voltage to DC voltage. They're really easy. They wire in line. You just wire it into your heated shield cord jack, and now you have DC power.
Yeah.
They're like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah. So do these connect to the Skidoo aux jacks?
It connects to the RCA auxiliary jack, which is for the heated shield.
Yep. So your sled has one. I think that's what he means, right? The auxiliary jack.
So you plug it in, and then I give you another lead on the kit that allows you to plug your electric shield in. So it has a splitter, so you still can plug your electric shield in.
Yeah, very cool. This is the Bite Harder. Looks like a write-up in Snowgoer magazine.
Yeah, so that's my light that Bite Harder sent in, and they did a little write-up on it.
Very cool.
Yeah. And I have one on the Trail Courtesy light. I have one on the Whiteout light. Snowgrower's done a bunch of little write-ups about some of our products over the years.
Yeah, very cool. When are you guys going to put fishtails and whip antennas?
So believe it or not, I have a whip LED on my Titan. I have a Polaris Titan.
Oh, cool.
And I grew them with it. So I was thinking I need a little extra light so people don't run into me. And so I put a whip off an ATV on it, but I'm a little too late to that game.
Yeah.
That market's already been sewn up by a bunch of companies.
Yeah. Oh, and Motorsport Channel, when you are saying electric shield, you mean the helmet, correct?
Yeah, I know helmets with electric shields.
Yeah.
That's where the power comes to light up the light. And that's why it can be so bright, because we're taking power that's already coming to the electric shield. We're splitting it in a splitter, and we're taking some of the power and diverting it to the light, and the rest of it goes to the heated shield. And there's plenty of ampacity in the wiring of that, of the helmet and the shield wiring, to allow the light to function without affecting the heated shield.
Yeah, it's such low wattage the LEDs require. So
yeah, very little.
Yeah. Here's a button again. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Again, that button is so cool. You probably get an amber picture, but my pictures are never in order. I just kind of dump them in the folder.
That's fine.
Away they
and that's
goes.
the Polaris whiteout light in action right there.
So they've mounted them in a little different spot on there. That looks great.
And the reason they mounted them there, I think that's because that's an Axis chassis.
Okay.
And they mount a different spot on the Axis chassis than they do on the Matrix.
Oh, I gotcha. It looks great. It's mean, man. Yeah, so this is a Matrix here.
Yep. And the lights are so darn bright that they produce double images. That's why you see those LEDs like randomly sitting there like ghost lights.
Yeah,
it's hard to take a picture of them without that happening.
Yeah, it is, because the lens, right?
You need a filter.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
when you're using your cell phone camera, you're not going to get a filter.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't look at the little blue reflection light there. Look at the white, bright light. Pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got an oxygen helmet and my wires are different. Do I just hook it up to that so I can just hook up this to the straight to the battery? So Mike's got the link, the E-Link, right? So it has inline RCA jack. Can you put, so it's got a magnetic link on the sled, then it's got an RCA end, and then the RCA goes into the E-Link on the back of the helmet. Can you put your splitter between those two, or can he wire it direct to the battery?
So the oxygen helmet kit that I offer just piggybacks the existing helmet wiring. So if you have, I'm not sure how he wired his in, but if he's not using the E-Link connector on the back of the helmet, which is how my kit gets the power, then
he is.
It sounds like he may have modified it.
No, it's the E-Link is on the sled as well.
So because they have that new kit that goes on the Skidoo. Yeah,
exactly. So the only RCA would be, if I'm correct, I don't believe that they have them stock anymore.
Is he talking about putting the Trail Courtesy light on that sled? Is that what he's talking about?
I assume he's talking about putting the signal lights on the windshield.
Yeah, so that E-Link kit still has an RCA auxiliary piece that comes off it. So yes, you can still hook it up.
Yeah.
It comes with an auxiliary RCA.
It would be plugged in the middle of your E-Link. So between the two E-Links. So if you get off
he said like those two front lights. No, Mike, that plugs into your buds connector.
Yeah, that's right, Mike.
The Skidoo Courtesy, the Skidoo Trail Courtesy light, not Courtesy, what is that called? What do you call these again? Whiteout. Those plug in. It actually is the actual connector that for your buds connector on your ECU. It's kind of
it goes in under the hood, so it has nothing
right by
to do with that E-Link connector at all.
If
It's
you
not
open
like
up
a
your
normal
right,
Ski-Doo accessory.
if you're sitting on the sled, your right knee, that panel, you open it up and that connector is right there.
Yeah, it's
So
plugged into a dummy connector.
Yeah, your it's not plugged in where your other accessories go, like your signal lights and
Yeah,
that kind
tell
of
him
thing.
to watch the installation video and he'll see how it hooks up.
Yeah. Go to the
I put it in the chat earlier.
The LJE Products YouTube, and there's tons of videos for install.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you can make your own install video and be a superstar. So yeah, so here we got some video links here.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is there copyright music in any of this stuff, or?
No, so we subscribe to a YouTube music. We have to pay for it. It's like $300 a year. And Brooke can go in there and select music that's not copyrighted that we can use.
Yeah.
So that's how we
But
get
Dad,
around the
that would
music
still
thing.
not allow us to use it though. So I think you should
No,
play it
that's
safe.
right. That's fine. No, I think it's good.
Yeah, I think you should play it safe.
Probably epidemic sound, so it'll be fine.
And this is a good example of snow dust and how that light just cuts right through it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And this is all in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. All this footage you're seeing.
Yeah, there's a good
That's in
shot.
Maine. That's in Caribou, Maine, right there.
Yeah,
It's awesome riding up there.
yeah, very cool. And that's good. Like you said, most of those are shot on a GoPro or a GoPro or a cell phone, and you it's not like you filtered and make them look better or anything like that. It's yeah. Here's another one here.
And this is
I don't know whether the audio comes out anyway.
Yeah, more helmet lights here.
Cool.
This is just to give people an idea of what to expect when they're riding with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool.
And the video doesn't do it justice.
When you're out on the trail and you've seen your own product ride by, is that a pretty cool feeling?
It is, it still kind of catches me off guard because listen to this. Last year, we're in West Yellowstone, stopped at an intersection. We've got these top secret Polaris sleds with camouflage all over them. So you can't even tell what they are. And we're stopped at an intersection, and one of the guys in the group is like, "Hey, Lenn, there goes a bunch of your lights." And there was a family of like 5 sleds that went through the intersection that had my lights on their helmets. And all the guys and girls there were like, "Isn't that cool seeing your own stuff way the hell out here?" And I'm like, it's very humbling to see that.
Yeah,
that
cool.
I created something that's become that popular.
I ran into a lady with one of my helmet wraps on her sled, and it's out in the wild, and the same type of feeling, and it was so cool. I had to go up and talk to her and share the love kind of thing. So that was really cool.
It's so true. Like when we're riding in groups, my brothers will kind of give me away when we're stopped and people have my product on their sleds, and my brothers will be like, "Hey, there's the inventor right there. That's Lenn right there." And they come right over and we take pictures and they chat, and it's really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Very humbling.
Yeah. So this is the YouTube channel Brooke Johnson with an E. BROOKE JOHNSON. And man, you need more subscribers than that. Make sure
I know
you give
we
her
need some help. She needs a little more help.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure you give her a subscribe on that channel. And
give her some help. Give her some love.
Yeah, hit a like button on mine, hit a like button on hers, hit subscribe on both of them too. I'm looking at the site right now, and I see the signal lights are on top versus BRP signal lights, which are on the bottom part. You know what? You know what he means by that?
But So remember, you can mount them in different spots.
Yeah, that's right.
Windshield, handguards, cab, they're very flexible.
Anywhere you tape them, you can double side tape them. They're 3M automotive pressure sensitive tape. Yeah. It's
it's up to the person that purchased the kit to where they want to mount them. I leave it up to them as long as it's visible.
Oh, look at that ski lift there. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's Brooke winning they run them 4 wide there because there's so many sleds in that class. There's your rear camera.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Look at the people disappearing, right?
That's awesome.
She just goes. She's so good at this. Natural.
How long how old was when she started racing?
11 years old when she started racing. And we basically did hill climbs back then.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then these guys asked her to drive their sled at this race. And the first time she ever did it, she took first place. And there was like 60 sleds in that class.
Very cool.
Very competitive.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's your winters like in New Hampshire?
Usually we're riding by December 15th. And we usually can go till April 15th.
Oh, that's a great season.
If we get Mother Nature to cooperate.
Yeah.
This is a long video. You can move on to the next one.
No, I will do that. That's cool. I love watching those races when she's dangling those skis. Where are we here? I think this is it. That was the 4th one, and then this is the last one. I think.
I think this is the hill climb that she ran. In Maine last year. This is a huge event. I could not believe the amount of snowmobiles that were there.
Yeah.
And they held it in April, late April. And when we were driving there, it was nothing but green and no snow. And then you get to this mountain and it's just covered in snow.
I'm trying to make, there's a little bit of delay here because it's a second screen, but it's not just straight up either. There's jumps.
No, it's like a snowcross track up the mountain.
Yeah, that just shows you the courtesy light. Hold on, I'm going to go back to that because that shot there was pretty cool. No, didn't go back. Get back. Now it's probably going to sit there and spin like this for a while, but it shows her park with the courtesy light on.
Yeah, it's coming up,
and you can kind of see how bright there. Like it's there, right there, how bright that light is. It's pretty cool.
We're going to work on getting more footage of that this coming winter.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
They actually look better further away. They look brighter because you get too close and it kills the camera.
It does. It saturates.
I know when I was doing that video today, I had to set my ISO, fix it, because if you use automatic, it would just make the room look like all the lights were on in the room and I had all the lights out. It's that bright.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. How many people did she compete against here? You might have already
told God. And she raced in 3 different classes, I want to say, and there's 60 to 80 sleds per class.
That's insane.
It is. But where else you're going to go snowmobiling in late April?
Yeah, it's true.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I just had a hip replacement when we were there, so I couldn't race, but I had an army injury that caught up to me, and they had to replace my hip, which is great now. It's friggin' awesome how much better it is.
Yeah.
But
she can jump too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a really good event, and it just grows exponentially every year. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Very cool. Greg Kelly says Brooke's a pretty talented rider. Glad she's not coming to Sudbury to make me look bad. How do you know? Maybe she is coming to Sudbury. Yeah. You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she loves snowmobiling. It's her passion, so she gets right into it. And she's 25 and she works out and she's in shape and you know she's living the dream.
I love it.
And LJE Products gets to pay for everything.
It's true. Yeah.
That was my goal, you know, when I started the company. If I could just get it to pay for my bad habit, my snowmobile habit.
Yeah,
that would be one thing, and it's far surpassed my expectations when it came to that.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, if you can create it as your own business, especially for her, that's a win in my books, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's awesome having your daughter in your, you know, as your teammate and watching her grow and learn. And she's really come a long way. She was very shy before, and she's come out of that now.
Yeah, she doesn't ride like she's shy, I'll tell you that.
Well, those are the ones you got to watch out for, right?
Yeah, when they put the helmet on, the alter ego comes out, right?
They do. They're Jekyll and Hyde. That's her. It's true. I can't even be near her when she's drag racing. She's like, Dad, I can't be the pit crew. She wants me. She doesn't want me near her. She's like, the other guys there help her out, and I get to film and watch. That's what I'm allowed to do.
That's very cool.
Yeah, she's a different person. She puts on that racing mind, and she doesn't want to be bothered by anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's great. No, everybody, did we miss any questions in the chat there?
I've been keeping an eye on stuff. I can quickly take a scroll.
Yeah, so no, that's cool. Very cool. I appreciate your time tonight, Len. That was awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh, there's a question for you, Dad.
What's that?
That we can plug right now. BAM Customs asked about lodge sessions and spots available.
Yeah, there should be spots available. I haven't really promoted it this year, BAM. I did send out an email to everybody that's kind of the hardcore people came in the past and everybody that came there. I think we're probably going to be no problem with that lodge, the main lodge filled. But let me know. I haven't sent any numbers to. We've got the whole lodge reserved, and I haven't sent any numbers or contact names to Jim yet. But I want to do that this week, and then he can contact you guys all for deposits and things like that. It's the same shtick as previous. It's $155 a night, Canadian. It includes
February 14th to the 22nd. It's Friday to Tuesday, whatever Friday to Tuesday. It starts on the 14th.
14th to 19th.
It's your first night. We're not riding. I mean, you can come first thing in the morning to Sudbury.
You can go there Thursday if you want or whatever, but we're going to be there Friday to
Friday night,
going home Tuesday of the family day long weekend. So February 14th is a Friday, and I think it's the 19th would be the Monday or Tuesday. $155.
When you say main lodge, when you say lodge is booked, you are not talking about the whole thing. You're talking about what we'd like to, I think, call the party lodge, the ones that we're staying in. The tower at the lodge would still be available, pending that he doesn't have other guests coming in for that week, just normal weekend, like normal guest wise.
Yeah, for
so you can book in there if there's spots available. If we are booked up, which it sounds like we are booked up in our lodge. Yeah. But you can obviously come hang out with us. You're not going to be left out in the cold.
Yeah, maybe. Absolutely. But that's the thing. It's we had people in the tower last time too. So so just let me know anybody that's interested in coming that weekend. It's
Winter's looking bright.
Yeah, the Sportsman's Lodge Sudbury. Drew checked out the long-term forecast, and it is snow and cold right up until that date. So unless Mother Nature does something really crazy, it's going to be freaking epic. Like it should be the way Sudbury riding is meant to be. So I can't wait. Lepoinski says, what a great guest. Gary and Drew. Len is awesome. Great show. Good night, guys, and we'll see you next week. Chris Watson says, great show, Lens. Thanks for the great content. And he will be getting a trail light. That's cool. Excellent show. Len is terrific. Products and personality, all the best. And Motorsport Channel says, hey, Lynn, it's Mike Gleets, not Money Mike. Rob Overold says, great show as always. I'll definitely be looking into the helmet light for my mission. Yeah, and don't forget to use the coupon code MUDBRATS for 15% off. And
I am making it active right now, guys.
Yeah, And someone was asking about shipping to Canada. It's not a problem at all. I think Lenn, I gave him an address and I think they were there. I want to say the next day, but if not, it was the day after the next day.
So I was using USPS, which was very expensive. And I recently switched to FedEx, international shipping. And it should be between 3 and 5 days to get there. The only catch is that if there's any custom charges, customs charges or any of those taxes or whatever you guys have up there, that's something that they have to deal with.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to pay for it.
Sometimes you don't get dinged with that, and sometimes you'll get a thing saying, "Hey, you owe for duties," and it's 5%.
Yeah, duties.
Or something like it. Usually $20, or I think my stud kit was $40. Like it's and that's an expensive stud kit, right? So in Vermont, how do you work out permits? And if he's talking about lodge sessions, you can buy permits by the day. ofsc.on.ca. And the permit prices are on there. I'll take a rough guess, $50 a day. Crossing the border. If you reach out to Jacob Masser or Wisco on the chat here, or after the show on their Instagram, they'll tell you it was no problem crossing the border with their sleds. I think the last time they were up, they brought 5 or 6 sleds from the U.S. and no issues. And
they didn't even get stopped once they said they were coming up to Snowmobile and they had the big trailer. They basically got waved through.
Yeah, they waved through, and they said it was unbelievably easy. And getting the passes, you buy them online, and it's just a little piece of paper you get to print out, and you're supposed to stick it to your sled. Can't remember if they did or not. I don't think they did. I think they just had it in their bag. But yeah, it's an easy thing for Americans to come up to. And the Canadian dollar is in the toilet right now. It's going to be even worse now that we have no leader. So we're 40 cents on the dollar. So you get 40% off now. So,
actually,
yeah, $150 Canadian is like almost $100 US. What is it? It's crazy.
It's 46 actually. It's 46 right now.
Yeah. So it's
not good.
So you guys, it's from the US is a no-brainer. It's good riding. We had horrible conditions the last time we rode it, and everybody had a blast. So yeah, that's very cool. Yeah.
So the MUDBRATS discount is active.
Right
awesome.
on.
Did that right on the fly.
It's ready to go. Anybody that's watching, get online and order, and I will ship tomorrow.
Right on. 50% off. MUDBRATS is the code.
MUDBRATS is the code. All capitals.
Yeah, all caps. And you do that at the checkout, right? There'll be a coupon code spot.
Yeah, it says,
Really?
This is a spot where it'll ask you.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you rock, man. You rock literally. And
well, you guys rock too. I mean, I appreciate this. All the exposure we can get to help grow this business is, so helpful to us. And you guys I really, appreciate you inviting me to come on and chat. And I feel like you guys run a really good show here. It's great. There's no pressure on my part.
No, it's easy. It's an easy night.
It is.
And I hope you get some sales out of it. And I think you will. The feedback I get from other people that have been on here has been really positive. So very cool.
Well, I'm anxious to see you guys out using the products, and I want to get your feedback too. You'll
hear it for sure. Like it said, we have the comms running the whole time we're riding on our videos, so you'll hear some comments and things like that. So it's good. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get my sled and get some of this stuff installed and start playing with it on the trail. So I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Stick around after we roll the credits. Okay, I'm gonna roll the credits.
Thank you, everybody. See you on the trails.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everybody in the chat
tonight. Have a good night, everybody.
That was a fun night, and we'll see you next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Sunday night?
Whoa. Monday night. Sorry. I don't even know what day it is today. I'm telling you, I'm surprised I even made it here today.
Did you go to work today?
Yeah,
or have a good week, guys.
Yeah, for sure. Take care.
It's a journey for